is on your face under your nose? What is that? Talk to me.
I just wanted to say that we're live. Welcome, everybody. I've got Easter and Pete. Pete, you need to put your video on because no one can see your face.
I'm just moving to a secure location.
Okay, are you securing your location and touching yourself on your studio?
Listen, you must show me on the doll where that man touched you with that snore you got there, okay?
Sorry, I'm either a pedophile or an 80s cop.
I think you should be asking me.
No, but Rayner, you've got a full-grown thing going on there, and I appreciate that.
You should be asking me where you touched me, because you're the pedophile, yeah.
Fair enough. Yeah, guys, just to be transparent, Rayner and I were alone in the studio for a bit, and I probably did ugly things to him, and I'm apologizing in advance to the audience.
That's okay.
CJ, how do I do this now? I've never done this thing.
Okay, so everyone, Pete is new. He's still trying to find out what the camera technology is, but soon enough he will expose his face and all his stories and secrets about the Tinderverse.
I got mad experience, bro. Mad experience.
What's up,
Pete? Welcome.
Hey,
is that Pete? Rayner? Introduce yourself.
I mean,
okay. Sorry. I just had to throw in my 80s accent and my 80s Afrikaans as well.
I want to know why.
I'm still standing for Afrikaans nationalism in my current state with my snore.
Okay, your snore is making me nervous.
Pete, I can see. I can see Pete is not taking. He's not taking Movember seriously, but Rayner is also not. He's Rayner. I've got so many things to learn in this time.
It's a question of class, my boy. It's a question of class.
Rayner, right?
Rayner. It's easy, yeah. It's Rayner. Like how it's spelled, Rayner.
Okay. Listen, but I grew up with an Afrikaans accent, so you have to.
That's all right.
You
have to go easy on me. Okay, well, welcome, Easter and Pete. Rayner.
Cheers, boys.
Cheers, boys. Happy Friday. Voetsek.
Happy Voetsek Friday. Like, Pete, do you know what Voetsek Friday is?
I don't, buddy. I'm new to this. You just kind of whinge and scream at me if I don't join these things. So I thought, let me just indulge you.
It's Voetsek Friday, meaning it's Voetsek, hashtag Voetsek ANC. So the ANC started a campaign, ANC Fridays. And what? I love the love. And
I tease you with love.
And what happened is one Friday they started this, and it just got imitated, and we just took over the Voetsek Fridays and Voetsek ANC Fridays. Okay. And it's just been a thing, and it's been I think it's been kind of trending and semi-trending ever since. So here we are.
It trended at #1 for like maybe 2 months. Like every Friday for #1 for a while. But,
those are the glory days.
Yeah, I'm trying to send myself.
Where the fuck is my phone?
Yeah, but Rayner, you and I probably have a very similar philosophy. It's all good and well telling something to Voetsek and then actually enabling actions to let it Voetsek eventually into perpetuity. And one of those ways is just defunding the ANC into oblivion, and for me that is defunding them through power or water utilities, so you don't have to pay your municipal bills or Eskom or your water bills anymore.
That sounds great. When are you going to do that?
Well, halfway there with both of them actually. So I just have to find out what the water system will cost me. The electrical one is also there. I can get a gas geyser or a solar one, depending on what my next SGM meeting allows me, and then
off the grid.
Yeah, and then I don't have to pay monthly levies for electricity. I don't have to pay monthly levies for water. That's off the record, and then I don't have to pay a water utility or a electric utility, which is Eskom. So
be careful there, because they might still hit you with a service fee even though you're not using it. I've heard of it happening.
I would love them. I would love them.
I've used nothing. I've used no water, no electricity, city of Joburg for a month, yet you still hit me with a bill. That's bullshit. Like, show me where I've used it. Makes no sense.
It's a notified demand charge and stuff like that you've got to pay. So if you've got like a maximum demand of something of like, let's say 100 kVA, you will, or 10 kVA or whatever, a house. I don't really work with that kind of stuff, but you have to pay that charge every month because that's what they've allocated to you. So whether they don't know if you're there or not, if you go on holiday, if you fucking do anything.
Correct.
But they hit you with that charge, your ancillary charges and that kind of stuff. So even if you were to try and like, go with the renewable energy, they do charge you for using the infrastructure. So I'm just doing an exercise on it now, where we're trying to build a 7 megawatt plant in Durban, and wheel the power to a customer that's also in Durban, but like in a different area. And because you've got to use the existing infrastructure, they charge you for it. So their margins that they were going to make on the electricity already, they're making it anyway. So the profit that they were going to make, they make it from charging you per kilowatt hour to send the power from one side to another. Theoretically, it's what you're doing, but in reality, it's not.
I'll tell you what we do. I will come to your house in Toti, where on my next trip to Durb. Get us a nice big axe, about yay big. Just pluck some of the fucking infrastructure out and say, I'm not paying this. There's no infrastructure. There's nothing here. I'm not paying for nothing.
Yeah, but remember, I agree with you, but remember what Rayner is saying is where they are gathering the electricity is at a separate point where they're transferring it to. So I know in some cases what happens is if it's not at the same place where it's, like if the generation point is not at the actual consumption point, they actually do use Eskom infrastructure to do that. So even on my father's farm, even on my father's farm, at the homestead, you can put up a lot of solar, and then maybe just a bit on is the next house, but you can hop on the Eskom wire to get there. And that's when they fuck you. So you have to be very smart about it. Like, are you saying like, cool, I'm using existing transmission technology, or am I putting a solar panel and a bit of electric infrastructure up at every point I want to consume at? And at that point, only do you get free of Eskom, which costs you a bit more in the short term.
Now comes the legacy argument. It's been 40 years. There is nothing else. So you're you're on your knees, saying, well, you're the only one that can help you. Unless you want to foot a 500-meter line from your solar panels to your house or whatever the case may be, that starts adding up.
Yep, but Absolutely. You also have to see how Eskom is pricing themselves out of the market. I mean, for fixed infrastructure, I think currently, if I have a electrical line up and I can connect shit to it, I'm paying. I'm using a bad example. I'll get the exact number, but I'm paying 5 or 10K for that, or 1.5K. Like, let's be generous. Now I've got 10 or 15 or 20 of that across my farm. Let's say 10. I pay 1.5K for that. Let's make it 5K. No, fuck it. 5K. I've got 10 of them. It's 50K a month, and I'm not consuming any electricity. It's just for that PowerPoint to be there. Nice view, Peter. We appreciate that.
Storm coming.
No. We appreciate the nice view. But I mean, it's 50K just for having the infrastructure, not consuming anything. Yeah. So if you have to amortize that, and every year Eskom goes up, Rayner knows this, and that's why he's such a successful fucking beast at this stage, because every time there's a tariff increase, Rayner goes, Mana, what about now? Yeah. Called someone maybe a month or 2 months ago, and then Eskom raises their price, and Rayner is like, Yara mana, now really, let's go. It's time.
Exactly. Eskom's like our best marketing tool. I mean, every time Eskom releases like their financial results and they tell you the situation they're in, people are more and more keen to look at other possibilities. Like,
I would love to be the auditor there.
Well, you have to explain why you paid 200,000 for a fucking mop, Because
Let me
they
understand it.
actually pay
Your
200,000
salary-
rand for a mop at
Exactly.
Eskom.
Let me understand this, sir. Your salary is 10 million rand a year. You got a bonus of 5 million, and yet your infrastructure is crumbling. There's
And
rolling
200
blackouts. You are in essence not
$50
doing your
million US
job,
dollars in debt.
yeah, which you're
Yeah.
paid for, and yet every year my tax money must bail you out. But yet you make this phenomenal salary, living la vida loca, driving a Ferrari. Just run me through the logic of: do you think it's fair? Do you think you're paid fairly for what you, or the fuck all that you do? You know, is it fair?
It's fucking.
I'd love to just listen to the rebuttal from them. Yes, I live a
Well,
wonderful
then you
life
need to watch
doing
the
nothing.
Zondo Commission, Days of Our Zondo. Because it's exactly that. It's like, it's not Days of Our Lives, it's like Days of Our Zondo. Like, you watch that shit and you're like, I stole millions, but I'm still living my best life. And with
best life.
impunity. Absolute impunity, dude. They like, and I love the standards of stealing. Like, some people get millions, others get a fucking box of meat every month. There's levels of corruption in this country. Like, you start with the millions, and like at the lower end, you might get even a KFC bucket a month. I think that's the lowest end.
That's a bit. I mean, if you're gonna bribe me, I need a bit more than a bucket. You know?
Absolutely.
No.
I ask people this. Like, I mean, even in the private sector, like I know people who've been fired over small things, like 50 grand, you know, from a customer, and I'm like, bro, do you honestly think 50 grand was worth losing your job over? Like, you're in a management role, like that's your month. That's not even a month's salary in a blue chip management role, you know?
What do they say though?
It's like, I'm like, you're so fucking short-sighted. Like, if you're gonna steal like a few million and bugger off.
No, bro, you steal 50 bar, 100 bar. You steal enough money so that no one can ever touch you again.
What is with these people staying at the scene of the crime? Like, you get a 800 million rand PPE tender and you want to live in fucking Waterfall. Like, leave the country, bruh. You've got 800 million rand.
Go to Mauritius or go to fucking the Channel
You can
Islands.
literally phone a Swiss banker and be like, listen, my man, I know rands don't mean much to you, but I've got 800 million of it, which equates to about what? 50 million euro. Yeah, $50 million, whatever. I'll give you $500,000. Sort me out today. I want a flight. I want a passport. I want residency. Done.
What you get that fucking idiot? What is his name? Hamilton and Glover, who bought five cars in one day and then made Facebook videos about it. I'm like, how fucking stupid can you be? Like, at least
that's a lifestyle audit waiting to happen, eh?
Oh, for sure, lifestyle audit, 100%.
And they weren't like cheap cars. There was like a Jeep SRT 10. There was a Lamborghini Urus, or whatever you call it, the fucking
nice.
4x4.
There
were two or three Porsche Cayennes. That's not fucking small change. We bought 5 luxury SUVs. Like, bro,
look, in fairness, I would have done the exact same thing. I would have done the exact same thing, except I wouldn't have told anyone about it. You know, exactly. I wouldn't have displayed it to the public and go, look how I fucked someone over.
Okay, now, but Peter, the next important question is like, you know, you and I have had this discussion before. Now we've just unwinded. We gave the Voetsek to the Friday. You know, there's always the other pressing life questions. You know, it's about Tinder, it's about bad life choices, and those red flags.
I'm ready.
Tell us. Yes.
Just to set the scene, like there are good things about Tinder.
You're 100% right. 100% right.
Rania, we will play all the sides today.
We gotta unpack this. So, just to give you context, I'm 100% a believer in you find the one and you carry on with life, and life is good. Best example, I got my 2 best mates in Joburg. I introduced him to his wife. She's one of my old colleagues. They happily married, carrying on. The child discussion is now happening, but that's just not my bag. Like, you do you. My best friend met his wife on Tinder. She's awesome. I see them every weekend, every second weekend. Their son is my godchild. They are the best couple I know. the best couple. The banter is on point. They give each other shit, but that man will do anything for that woman, and vice versa. 100% there's merit, but then also there's the other side of it, where it's like any tool. If you want to use it to fuck around, but be honest about it. Have the balls to say, I'm just here to get my dick wet. That's it. Or I'm here to actually find someone. Like, I am out there to actually find someone. It doesn't happen that often, but you gotta. It's pretty much a numbers game. It's like anything. You have to meet a lot of people. Yeah, okay, you're cool, but like I don't feel that sort of small black heart crumbling and life is coming into it, you know?
You know, I know it's Black Friday. You don't get to say it's a small black heart crumbling, you know. All Fridays matter, not just Black Fridays, Peter. You fucking...
But now, Rayner, have you ever touched on the red flag?
Rayner? It's Rayner.
That's Rayner.
Rayner. Fuck.
Rayner.
Rayner.
There you go.
Jesus.
So,
okay,
what did we say, Pete? Sorry, bud.
Have you ever touched on the topic of the red flags?
But I've actually got a list of red flags that, like, I've got a lot of friends that
Okay, so what we're going to do today is we're going to compare notes. It's basically what we're doing.
Absolutely.
I would actually wait if I can Rayner. Am I getting that right?
Rayner.
I can actually say, like, in some instances, all three of us were also red flags, so we can make it more interesting and actually like admit to that and throw in.
I live with my teeth.
No.
I have a job. I don't live with my mom.
At some stages of our lives, even we were red flags. So
when we were 21, obviously.
Yeah. I mean,
yeah. Yes, guys, I didn't even do my hair for this. I'm sorry.
I've thrown out my own red flags, like at people, where I've done things that are serious red flags, and I'm like, if you haven't picked up that I'm not that interested.
Yeah, you're like, I'm going to do something right now that's very questionable. Like, I want you to pick up on it and call me out on it, and then you do it, and they don't. They're just like, I love you unconditionally, and then you know, like, oh fuck, everything goes. At that stage, everything goes.
You know, guys, no message is a message in itself. So
absolutely.
True that.
So I was married and I'd never used the Tinder happened while I was married, you know? So I got divorced, separated 2018. So like that was, so now I stepped into Tinder then. So I was new to it. But I was on it for like,
you don't have the experience.
2 years, like on and off. But like the most solid I was on it for was like about 6 months, I think. Like solidly using it, like literally chatting to people and keeping up with it and stuff like that. And it's there are, like you said, there's lots of merits to it. I think you can meet just as many creeps in real life as you can online.
100%.
And the thing is, when you're at like Katie's Palace, I know you're a Joe Burger, so you know Wednesday night.
Palace.
You know, Wednesday night at Katie's Palace is where everyone goes to try and get, you know, to hook up. All the busy single professionals in Santon use that as like a watering hole on a Wednesday night. So if you take that for example, I know, but you take that for example, right? You don't know, after you've had a few drinks, you don't know if someone is a creep or, you know, they're displaying like weird tendencies or anything like that. So you take them out on a few dates and then you only find it out later. So what's the difference if you'd met them online, had a few conversations, realized, listen, this person's a fucking idiot, I'm not going to carry on, and you just moved on from there? I think you've saved yourself a lot of time and a lot of heartache by meeting people online. I can tell you the amount of money I have spent on dates and just be like, I like what I see, I like what I'm hearing off the bat, and then you dive deeper where you sort of, I mean, I've done it myself where I've put a woman in a situation. You're an adult. I want to see how you adult. Like, I've taken into Brideshead Mates, bro. It's gone from she had the best time, wicked, from that to I can't do this. I can't meet new people. How? You're 28 and you're a chartered accountant. How can you not meet new people? You're a fucking adult. Act like it. You be polite. You introduce yourself and you carry on. So there's these little sort of social tests that you can do. I mean, that for me is 100% red flag. Sorry, if I have to baby you the whole time, that's ridiculous.
And especially if it's like, 2 or 3 people. I mean, if I take you to Truth and we want to do heroin, that's a whole different conversation.
Yeah, Truth is a dimension of its own.
That's like fourth date. Fourth date.
I also 100% understand your hesitation towards that kind of upscope. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Okay, well then let's start. So let's start.
On the converse of that, I've been on a date with someone, and they borrowed 500 rand from me on the date. But this wasn't our first date, and they used it to buy bags, and I was like, "What the fuck?"
What bags? Body bags.
Excessive drug use on the first date.
Cut you up in and throw you in.
It wasn't the first date, but she was a jeweler and she liked to drink, and I was still drinking at the time. This was like 2018, and I didn't she borrowed it, and I didn't think anything of it, and she never paid it back. What
bags was it? Like what bags?
It was for cocaine.
It's called cocaine. Is called bag. Bag. It's called cocaine.
I'm just trying to be a little bit less, blunt about it. But she was buying. She used it to buy bags, and I was like, "What the fuck, man?"
Rayner, was this a red flag for you at the time? Did you raise your hand and go, "Whoa, handbrake"? Stop.
Look, I mean,
have a time.
I would love my dates to have money on hand to buy their own cocaine. I mean, that's a minimum prerequisite.
It sounds great. Like if you got some, give. I wouldn't mind some. Like if we're gonna have that kind of date,
But if it's like, hey, can I borrow 500 rand? Like coming back to me at a bar and being like, listen, can I borrow 500 rand? My card's not working. I was like,
conveniently.
She was also a bit of a compulsive liar, because the same person who couldn't put together $500 told me that she was earning 100 grand a month at her job.
Probably also compulsively in debt because of that drug.
I mean, if
100K a month, I mean, that's not a small salary. Like you're in the top.
No, that's massive.
Okay, but Rayner, after tax, that's about fucking 60K.
But I'd say
I don't take on 60K.
But you should be able to spend 60K at least successfully.
You can, but I mean, if you're a single person, you can have a you can have a drug budget in the 60K salary.
I know guys that have one.
You're so reasonable. I mean, you can have a drug budget.
But I mean, like drug
budget. If you drink some bag every
people,
weekend, that's 4K a month. Yeah, you can easily have a drug budget.
Absolutely, on 60 grand. I mean, you're not paying for school fees if you're a single person with no kids. So I mean, what I would pay on school fees, you could put towards cocaine. I mean, it's not.
You know what? You're living your best life, and if you have a heart attack at 32,
or something, but I mean,
that's you, buddy. That's you.
Yeah, exactly.
And then when you wonder why you have a heart attack as well, it's because you snarf off your salary up your nose. It's not designed for that. It's not designed for that.
So Pete, by the way, you missed this part maybe, but fuck it, I'll give it to you. So Rayner, I'm probably mispronounce it again. Fuck me. But anyway, Rayner.
There you go.
He used to have a tough laugh, but he's kind of a reformed fucking coke snatch. And he used to have his best life and take coke and women as he wanted to. But eventually he reformed. Yeah, no, I'm not judging. I'm just giving you a bit of background.
I don't judge people for doing it. I mean, I've got friends who still jaw and snarf and carry on. I mean,
but your turning point was when you had a child and you have to actually look after the little things. So, it kind of fucked with you. Morally, it fucked with you eventually. It got to you like, oh fuck, am I going to be that dad? And am I going to put this child into that kind of way of thinking about me? And it freaked you out, and you just went you scared yourself straight.
Yeah. Look,
that's my perception when I met you. I don't know what it really was. That's kind of what I got.
That's the truth. I mean, my daughter, it was a while ago, and my daughter's turning 5 now. I mean, in February, and I made a choice one day. A friend of mine spoke to me, and he was like, "Bro, would you let your daughter date someone like you?" And I was like, "Absolutely not."
That's good honesty there.
Good question.
I wasn't sniffing lines while she was in the room with me, but So, in your spare time, I'm drawing and I'm hanging out and meeting different girls and having a party and not sleeping, going to work the next day and that kind of stuff. And you're like, I wouldn't like, if my daughter brought someone home like that, I would tell them to fuck off. And that was my turning point. I was like, I'm done. Like, I think
there's certain questions you have to ask. You have to ask,
exactly.
My drug taking, does it affect my job? Does it affect my family? Does it affect my ability to care for my family and provide? And how badly does it affect your health? If you're like, no, it's all good, then now and again, go for it. But if you're fucking sucking your lines, like you're saying, and you can't do your job properly, which as a ripple effect outward, you get fired, you can't provide for your daughter. If your drug use affects your parenting and your ability to provide for your child, it's a no-go from me. It's
Absolutely.
a no from me.
It never got to that point for me. I was never like missing days at work. Like I've powered through it where I've like fucking come home from like Katie's at fucking 6 a.m. after going to someone's house and gone straight to work and worked a full day.
I can't do that anymore.
And I'm like, and I thought to myself, like, I can't be that oak anymore. Like I'm not a child. Like that's fucked up. So now, I don't even drink alcohol. Even socially, I'll hang out with oaks who are drinking, and you can get as fucked as you want around me.
I will.
I just don't see the value in it for my life anymore. I don't like it.
It's a positive life choice. It's good for you. I wish I could.
I've got so many friends who need to see that because I can see what it's doing to them, and you can only see the effect it had on you once you've stopped. So once you step out of it and you start living clean and you start seeing a different pattern, you start looking back on your old ways and you start looking like, oh fuck, like I was a bit more of a mess than I thought I was, and you start working backwards and you're like, oh shit, like I only used to do that because of this. And then you start, you look at some of your mates and you're like, hey bro, like that lifestyle is not good and it's affecting this guy. Like he's moody.
But Rayner, how many people do you know that have sort of your level of cognizance that can do that?
The problem with a lot of the people in my circle, and I'm not trying like the self. Yeah, I know what you're trying to say. The introspection.
It's a level of self-awareness.
Yeah,
you're right. The word.
Go on.
That's the word.
But the thing is, in my social circle, and I don't want to just come across as like arrogant, but a lot of my friends are quite successful financially. And that there is a buffer. When people say that, oh, I don't have a problem, it's because you can comfortably afford it. You've got a good job. You're operating. You've got a successful business.
It's almost justifying it. I can do it because I can afford it.
Exactly. It's not making an impact on your life financially in any way. It wasn't making an impact on my life financially. But just because you haven't had to suck a dick for drugs doesn't mean you don't have a problem. It's just your financial.
I was going to use that exact same example. When you are sucking dick under a highway for meth, you have a problem.
I'm saying, but the difference between you and that person is your access to drugs is the path from A to B for you is a lot easier. You don't have to sell your possessions. You don't have to do anything like that or rob anyone.
You don't have to compromise yourself more than they have to compromise themselves much more to get what they want.
Exactly.
You have to compromise yourself less to get what you want.
Yours is just an e-wallet or a fucking just pull money from one account to another or something like that. You know what I mean? Like you've got access to the funds. And this is what, like I joined Narcotics Anonymous and I went for meetings for a long time. I've even got a sponsor. I mean, I realized something is that when you're in these meetings, is that you're listening to these people's stories and you're like, it's so easy to step back and say, oh, I'm not as bad as that. Just because I didn't have the same set of financial circumstances as that person. And I wasn't having to sleep on the streets, because of my drug problem, doesn't mean that I was any less of an addict. It just meant that I had better. I probably used more than some of them did because I could just pick up the phone, WhatsApp my dealer. He used to live around the corner from me, and he would drop it off at my house.
Circumstance where it never got to that level.
I never got to that level of desperation because I always had.
You're in debt, and now you're missing bond payments and fuck ups,
exactly.
And then you're like, well, what now?
So the thing is,
can I just ask that you put on your fucking lights because you're getting darker by the day, but you're whitey.
Oh, there's a storm, CJ. I don't know what you want me to do. There's a storm, and that involves me getting up. Now I must get up to make you happier. Yeah.
I mean, please fucking do.
I tell you what. Shave your stash, and I'll do it.
Stab yourself in the heart with my penis, then I will.
I would if it was big enough. That's what's up.
You know, that's the kind of sense of humor I want on this channel. It's edgy. It's
Dog on,
fucking
mate.
there.
Yeah, man.
Love you,
Well,
buddy.
we got a
but
bit,
dog on.
we got a bit deep and dark there, but yeah, man, the whole thing is it's a personal choice, and it does take, like you say, it does take a lot of soul searching. And when you don't have, and this is the problem with my friends, is that when they don't have those real life problems that are coming up, they don't actually see the addiction for what it is, and that's where people.
We had a similar little like. I obviously won't say his name, but we used to live with a little guy. You know, we all starting our careers.
You can generically name him. He's a generic name.
Let's call him Greg. Okay, let's call him Greg.
Let's call him Jason.
No, we're not going to call him that. So Greg lived with us. You know, we all doing our careers. I'm in software and project management, and a bunch of the buddies are in sales. And then we had Rudy, who was God's gift to accounting. CFA level 3. The man made more money than God. For some reason, he lived with us. No idea why. He digged it. He digged the vibe, and it was nice. You know, living with a bunch of chums. And then, you know, we had Greg. And I mean, he's young. He was 23, I think, then. And we were about 29, 30-ish. And he'd sort of, you know, get pissed every single night. You know, he'd come home, car blaring. I knew when he was home. He'd try and knock on my door. Pete, come, let's have a beer. Let's do some bag. And then eventually I turned to him the one day and I said, come sit with me. Just come sit here. This is what's up. I said, you must know that when I sit you down and I talk to you, there's a problem. I love to drink. Yeah. I love a good jaw, but there's limits. Absolutely. So I sat him down and said, what's going on? He says, what do you mean? I said, you look horrendous. Your skin is terrible. You look hungover 24/7. You're not looking good. What's wrong?
You're looking like a Biden vampire.
Yeah, and his face is red. Like, you know that, like, alcohol red?
Yes.
You know, all the time. And I said,
veiny fucking vibe, yeah.
I understand that you're young and you're making a lot of money for your age. You make more money than me, and I'm fucking 9 years older than you, which is great for you. But like, don't be stupid about it. Like, save it, invest it, do something worthwhile. And I understand you want to jaw because you got the money to jaw, 100%. I hear you, but you don't have to do it Monday to Sunday and doing bag at 3 a.m. on a Tuesday. You know, like, it's a Tuesday, mate. Like, just pump the brakes. You're young. And I said, if you carry on like this, I promise you, you're going to have a heart attack by 28 or you're going to be dead. And then I said to him, I know your biggest fear is that you're going to become like your father, who's an alcoholic. I've met him a few times. The man is an alcoholic. Bad, because the first time I met him, he fell off his chair drunk and passed out.
Oh, so he's one of those alcoholics that every time he gets drunk, there's a bad symptom. Like, yeah. Okay.
So he said to me, his greatest fear is that he becomes like his father. I said, but buddy, you are running down that road. Running. Not walking, running. Slow down. Exactly. You don't have to get donut every single night. Yeah, a couple of beers. Sure. I've even done it with him. Tuesday after work, Wednesday after work, a couple of beers. No worries. Come. It's, you know, it's 8, 9 o'clock. Let's go. You know, eat something nice, go to bed, watch some TV. You don't have to get donut every night. And it's things like that where you can just see that there's no second thought. There's no beyond thought. There's just here and now, satisfaction, immediate satisfaction. I'm pissed and I'm happy now. But there's no cognizance of what's going to happen in a couple of years.
Pete, it's instant gratification every time.
The word. Exactly. That's the word. Thank you.
The thing is, you need someone in your life to stand up and say that to you as well. I think everyone needs that. Yeah. I never had those people. I had friends that were like, you know, we'd be playing golf on a Wednesday afternoon, and the Oak we'd be rounding into the clubhouse, and the Oak's already called the dealer 2 holes back, so that by the time we reach the 18th, the Oak's waiting for us. You know?
Yeah.
And it sounds lovely, but it's successful. Just give me 1 second.
And I'm like, it became an every time we hung out thing. You know, like every time I was with certain people, certain things happened.
But you're right.
And you have to have people in your life that can step back. Yeah?
If you don't have people that hold you accountable to be better, you're fucked. You're fucked.
Absolutely.
Like you can cut it as you please. I don't care what you call it and how you cut it. If you don't have people like that check up on you, if it's your weight, if it's your sanity, if it's the amount you read every month because you're part of a book club, you're fucked. And I think the biggest and the best thing we can do is hold ourselves accountable. Keeping ourselves honest is the best way to accountability, because we need someone to say, okay, cool, you're now part of a book club. We are reading, I'm reading Ayn Rand, Fountainhead, because I need to understand socialism on many levels. So I'm starting there. And then I'll go through, I'll read a lot of books about socialism, but how they picture it in peculiar ways. I mean, even Animal Farm from Orwell was a masterpiece because it portrays socialism in a very subtle way. But you get a bigger... Exactly. But if you're not well read, you can't reference things I get complimented in the way I perceive things by some philosophers that because I'm very perceptive. But I've got a gift of perception. But it doesn't mean that it puts me above anyone else. I need to extend my reach, and I need to extend my own sense of experience, because if I have more points of references once I read a lot of books and get better educated, and that's what I have to do, and I have to keep myself accountable. Pete, what are you doing?
Sorry, I just did a wardrobe change and I'm getting comfortable. I'm sitting
it
on
seems
my
like you're mansplaining drinks to us.
What does that mean? Mansplaining.
Manspreading, because I'm just seeing a knee and...
Oh no, I'm just sitting on my butt. It's more comfortable.
I'm just giving you shit, man. Welcome back. Cheers.
Cheers. I don't have anything to cheers you guys with. I got some
fucking vape.
Well, let's get to the actual topic. I mean, it's been 37 minutes, so...
You're going to say 37 moments.
37 moments.
Comrade.
Moments. Guys, so we've been through this life, and we're still trying it and everything, but I mean, between Tinder and so as Rayner, did I say that right? Say again.
Rayner.
Why is it so hard, Rayner?
Because I'm Afrikaans. Jesus Christ.
I'm only Afrikaans by blood, so that's a win.
Yeah, by blood.
But Siege, let me just correct you there, buddy. The online dating scene has evolved far beyond Tinder. So if I give you the timeline, it went Tinder, then Bumble, which I like the premise of Bumble because the woman has to actually do some work, which is really nice. That's really nice because, again, this old premise of like, if you talk to any attractive woman, my love, literally all you have to do is go sit at a bar on your ass at the bar and wait. That's all you have to do. I'm the one that has to come up there and somehow spark your interest to talk more than a minute with me. And then you're like, no, sorry, not interested. Next. That's all you have to do. I have to go and do all the work. You just sit there and go, you may approach the bench. You may stay. That's it. So good. Fuck that. Now we've got polynomial, fucking non-binary, sexual orientations, which make no sense to me whatsoever. You are either a girl or a man. You either fuck men, women, or both. That's it. You are not non-binary, polynomial, and you identify as an Apache helicopter. That is called a mental illness, and you need to be medicated for that. My personal opinion, just saying. But the timeline has now gone Tinder, Bumble, which I really liked, but those are old now. Yes, Tinder's a little bit more used than Bumble, but now Hinge is the new one. That works really nicely.
Tell us about Hinge. I know you advocated Hinge to me before. I wasn't.
Yeah. I've never used it.
So what I like about Hinge is that, obviously the premium version has all the nice filter functionality. So
okay, but stop with the premium filters. Just tell us what the out of the box.
Yeah, but you and I are in software. We appreciate filters. Like certain functionality. We appreciate it.
I know. I appreciate filters. I appreciate girls that don't have such a big moustache as I do.
No, I hear you. Oh, girls.
Okay, it depends where it is. If mine is north, hopefully there's a south. I mean,
what I like about Hinge is that all the questions are mandatory. You can't skip them. You have to fucking put information. If you got babies, you must say you got babies. And there's
That's what I
still
like
people
about
that
Bumble. Bumble gives you a lot of info. Like Bumble, you can put your height, you can because I mean, I don't discriminate, but I'm only 5'8". I'm not taking these fucking 6'4" chicks out on dates, bro. Like, it's not happening.
Mind you, I've done that. It was a really nice experience. Really nice.
Don't worry about going on dates. You need to fucking catch this line out, my girl. Like, get your calls right.
So, Rains, you're like I wouldn't say you're midget. You're. I mean, I'm also not a fucking giant. I mean, we met, so
yeah,
like we're fairly the same size.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm not small, like, but I'm not a big guy by any.
But yeah, you need to define out properly, like what is small and what is big. Are you
recent pics?
Are you bodily big or?
Yeah.
Just to
I'm just
tell you quick. One of the things I like about the Bumble app, not Bumble, the Hinge one, is that if you do go premium, which I haven't, you can filter by your preferences. So, for example,
that's fucking smart.
Obviously, as anyone, I'm going to be PC here. I don't want to offend anyone.
Please don't be.
Women of other ethnicities are not really my fancy. So I don't want to have to sit and fucking swipe through every single one. Oh, damn it. Fuck. Missed one. Now I must carry on. Okay, another 50, whatever. Okay. Oh, yes. Okay. So it's nice.
I'm very strong with that as well.
So what you say, Pete, is you're a racist.
I'm a realist.
No, we're with you.
Life is too short to fuck people who you don't want to fuck.
So, exactly. It's like going to the strip club and the Asian stripper is all over you. And you're like, I don't want you, the Asian one. I want the beautiful blonde over there. Why? What do you mean why? I'm the paying customer. I'm paying for a service.
I don't want to lose 2 hours of my life explaining this. I just want that fucking.
I even called the manager. I remember last time. It was about 5 years ago.
Karen for calling the manager.
Drew, come here. This is bullshit. This chick is harassing us now and giving shit. I'm not paying her. I don't want to dance from her. I want that one. I'm here to pay stupid money to see tits and ass, and I'm not going to waste my time trying to convince her to fuck off. It's ridiculous.
Exactly. Especially if you paid
tits and ass. Literally,
paid $980 to get in at the door, like the grand.
Yeah, fuck that.
And let me be honest with you. I only went to the Grand when I was on cocaine. I had no interest in the fucking buffet. I don't care if the sushi is just as good as fucking Yamada.
Everybody in the buffet. I don't come here to eat sushi. I come here to see tits and ass.
Take that, Buffett.
I would never soberly make a decision to pay 980 Rand entrance fee at a strip club. So by that point, I'm not hungry. By the time I've made that decision, my appetite is the last thing on my mind. So and I appreciate.
No, you're wrong,
Rayner.
Your appetite for pussy is top notch, but your appetite for food is like down.
I'll fuck food.
No, I hear what you're saying, and I think that you know what? There's people of all creeds and colors and preferences. Like some girls I've met will not date someone who's not like a full-on Christian. Like I've gone on dates.
Oh, yeah, I've been there. I've been down that route, but then they only disclose that like a week later.
Exactly. So I've been on a date with this very beautiful Afrikaans girl, and she was like, "Yeah, and what's your relationship like with the Lord?" And I'm like, "The who?"
Non-existent.
The whom?
No,
the what?
There's no lords in this country. I mean,
there are gay lords in the Western Cape.
They've got wine and now with the sex aspect. Now the sex aspect bothers me because you're like, I hear what you're saying as a Christian and what, but like, use your brain a little bit. The Bible is more like a guideline, really. You know, it's more like a guideline. So I always give this example. No, we're not going to have sex before marriage. Cool. You bought a car, right? Yes. Is that the car you wanted? Yes. Did you test drive it beforehand? Yes, I test drove many cars.
Exactly.
Right. Okay. So if we went shopping for a car and I said, that's the car you're buying. No, but it doesn't have aircon or leather seats. It doesn't have this. You're not going to buy it, are you? What if you don't like driving it? And are you stuck with it the rest of your life? You're not going to buy it, are you? No? Well, then it's the same thing. I think you'd have to be incredibly ignorant to do that. You are committing yourself to this person the rest of your life. And I understand it's not all about sex. I hear you. But emotion and physical go hand in hand. Can't have one without the other.
For sure.
But they don't get it. They're like, no.
That's one of my pet hates on Tinder is when someone says to you, they're like, it's your third or the third or fourth line into the conversation. They're like, oh, so what are you looking for on Tinder? And I'm like, no, you know what? You need to actually employ some fucking conversational skills. Get to know me, ask me questions, get a vibe, and then you'll be able to figure it out what I'm there for. If I ask you for pictures of your, if I'm asking you for pictures of your tits 20 minutes into the conversation, you can get an idea.
You're definitely not here for love in a relationship and to have babies.
But if I'm here, if I'm asking you things like, hey, so what did you want to be when you grew up, when you were a kid? And I'm really interested in your life. The last thing you need to ask me is, what are you looking for? Like, let it flow. Don't fuck it up. Don't put something. Don't put a label on it.
I've had that too.
From the beginning, like that. It's such a small thing, and some people don't think that it's a problem. But it's like it's lazy. It's like saying, what gift do you like? So I can impress you. Like, do you like jewelry? What type of jewelry? And then I'll go and buy the exact thing that you like, and then you act surprised. Like it's gonna, So it's something that you should get to know, and you should employ your perceptions and your intuition.
So Rayner, this is it's either my 7th or my 1st red flag. I don't know which order I want to put it in. I'm gonna call it first. Let's call it first. The first red flag is CJ, you coined that phrase earlier, self-aware.
Being self-aware. I mean,
self-aware. You need to like, are you aware of what you're doing? You're trying to interact with a new person that you don't know from a bar of soap. Don't start with trivial shit like, what are you looking for? Well, okay, I literally just want to fuck. Cool, then they'll leave. Oh, I'm looking for this. Oh, cool, I'm looking for that too. You don't know me from a bar of soap. Like you say, get to know me first, then the conversation will naturally flow. But I call it being with it. If a woman is not with it, like you can't sort of read your audience, you can't read the room. What are you doing? Like, I don't have time for shit like that. I can't baby you through every step of life. You should be, as an adult over 25, have a pretty good idea of how to interact with strangers. And if you think they're attractive, have a conversation. Okay, like, what are you doing? Like, what's happening? You can obviously ask the generic questions, what or whatever, but then ask some interesting stuff, like Harry Potter fan or not. I'm a huge fucking Harry Potter fan. I'd love to go to Harry Potter World. I fucking love it.
Can I also add something? I would love someone to have
on PS5 when it comes out.
There we go. But can you have your shit together? I'm not like when I'm aging over 30.
Number 2.
I expect you to have your shit together and at least have some semblance of ambition. Like either you're there,
what it is,
or you're at the precipice of exploding into success. That's kind of my prerequisite.
No,
I'm not going to go after some sweet ass that's younger that's saying like, oh, I've got this idea, FYI, and I'm going to be like, fuck off. Like either you're there or you're not, and then if you are aspiring, that's great. I'll give you your credit and I'll give you my bit of insight, but don't rely on my insight for your success, or don't rely on me giving you something disproportionately that aligns to your beliefs, because we're not there yet. We don't know each other. Fuck off.
But also understand this. So again, with the whole cognizance is like, take this concept into your mind. There's this whole thing about who is trading up and who is trading down. In my mind, you should both be trading up. I found a good man who lives on his own, has a decent job. He's trying to get somewhere in life. The gears is there. The will is there. The drive is there. And he's a fully self-sufficient adult. I don't rely on mom and dad. I make my own money. I do what the fuck I like, when I like, how I like. Sorry, if you live with mom and dad and you're fucking 30 years old, you might be divorced. You might be whatever. I understand circumstance.
You're part of Antifa or BLM, right about then.
But there's always this push and pull between who trades up, who trades down.
If your mom lives with you, which is a whole different ball game. So if
you're called a roommate.
No, I'm saying if your parent lives with you, and I know it sounds the same as you live with your parents, but if you're looking after your parents, like I've got
that's
respect
different.
for people who do that. That's a whole different vibe.
Yeah, that's very different.
That's very different. And it's like there's a lot of people, and I've met a lot of people out there. And like, you know, one thing about Tinder is I learned a lot about different people and what battles people are fighting out there. So some people will tell me like,
blows my mind.
I have this job and I earn good money, but like I'm supporting my sister's kids. I'm supporting my mom like on the side. I'm helping people
that's
get
different.
through school.
You know,
like,
you
and I'm like,
you yourself
I learned a lot
are
about
positively
this shit, you know,
contributing.
like it's crazy, you know, how many people are going through like hard times, you know.
You know, it blows my mind.
People on their current financial situation. I judge people on where they see themselves going and what's their trajectory. Like, if you're a nail technician, is your dream to own a chain of nail salons? That's fucking awesome. That's entrepreneurial. That's great.
Yeah,
like,
100%.
But if you like just that kind of, you're just waiting for your ship to come in, and you're waiting for that rich guy to match with you, so that he can like buy you a new set of tits and fucking put you in a nice car. Like, that's not the kind of person I'm looking for at all.
But you know what I've heard as well is that I've heard of a lot of women that are like, the quality of men out there is so lacking. It's apparently frightening. And I draw all of this pattern recognition from them. And I say, okay, well, you know, like, tell me about it. And then I sort of like, I've made this pattern in my head. Apparently there's a lot of bumfuck, stupid, unsuccessful twats out there, just from what I've gathered, that they live with their mom. Not their mom lives with them. They live with their mom.
Okay.
And the fact that they live with their mom, they can buy a better BMW to drive because he's not paying rent to his mom. So there's apparently all these unachieving swamp donkeys, let's call them that. And yet they seem to think that they deserve this knockout 9 out of 10 porn star who must drop on the knees whenever they click their fingers. And this is what they firmly believe. And I disagree with that. I said, mates, if you want to be loved, you have to be worth loving. In my mind, like, what do you bring to the party? You do fuck all, you earn fuck all, you're going nowhere slowly, you're missing teeth, and you're balding. What do you bring here?
Pete,
You know,
are you going back to the age-old thing that is the competence? I call it the competence hierarchy. How good are you at what you do, and then what? If you're good at what you do, obviously the compensation will reward you back accordingly.
Not necessarily. I'm just saying you need to be on a certain level to play in a certain level. So let's use a simple example.
So the relation between the guy and the girl.
You are not in the same pool as me. I swim in this pond. You are not worthy to be in this pond. But there are many, many ponds. But what I'm saying is that don't punch above your weight class if you can't back it up. So, for example, me, let's say I'm mediocre, bang average. If I happen to meet a girl who's a lot smarter, more successful, I will then trade up financially because we can have a better life because she earns more money. But trading up is not necessarily only financial. I can trade up, or she can trade up with me, in the sense that I will die for her. I will look after her like you cannot believe. I will never hurt her. Like the typical stuff. So the whole goal is to trade up. You know what I mean?
Okay,
whether it be financially, physically, emotionally.
Yeah, that
you have to level up.
I said, when you say trade up, it sounds so transactional. But if I don't
know how else to say.
Is it, you're looking for complementary qualities in someone. So if you want someone, so like if I take Emma and I, for instance, you've met Emma, Carter. So like Emma and I.
That's your real name?
Hey, my girlfriend.
No,
I'm joking. I actually do know his real name. I'm joking.
I'm not Emma, by the way. Can I just get a beer first? And Rayner can explain the Jesus.
I'm going to explain the story to Rayner while you go do that.
I'm terrible.
So I know CJ. I've never actually asked him his real name. And then we went to a party a couple of years back. And he kept saying, "Hi, Carter." Hi, like you meet someone, shake their hand, "Hi, Carter." And I was like, "Who the fuck is Carter? I didn't meet a Carter." He's like, "No, that's my name." You joking? Carter Jaeger. I was like, "Oh, fancy."
Shit, my fucking door just flew open. There's a storm happening.
Where you based, bro? Rayner?
I'm
Where
in
you based?
I'm in Bryanston, man.
The storm's coming, but it's here. Check out.
So yeah, it's pelting down outside. I can hear it.
It's coming, bro.
Oh. Are you in the east, bro?
I'm just in Greenstone.
Okay, so sort of east.
Baby east.
Little bit east. Baby east. Greenstone's lekker though. I like it out there.
I used to live in Bryanston. I used to be there by, the BMW on William Nicol.
Oh yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
I used to live there, yeah.
Did you used to live in one of those complexes there, like Beluga or one of them?
Star Blue.
Oh, okay, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, it's lekker there. It's near Hobart.
Yes, literally like fucking a minute drive.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I like it out here. It's just that we both work from home, so we don't have to fight traffic, which is great. Because if I was trying to get somewhere at 7:30 every morning, I'd be fucked off. Because this place is manic.
Well, you see, that's the nice thing about my new job. Oh, CJ, I was going to tell you. So, obviously, my personal review went amazing. I said, I'm not happy about my laptop bag. I need a better one. What do you want, Pete? I said, I want a fucking proper laptop bag. It's bullshit. The cock one you gave me, I don't even use it. I use my own one. So, literally, I said this to my big boss. And, I mean, we all like 31 years old. And I'm very tight with the one big boss.
So Pete, did you at any part of this conversation mention to the audience that you're part of a startup, but a good one?
I wouldn't say we're a startup. We're about 8 years old now. I would say
fine.
we are a medium-sized enterprise.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Sorry, I was just trying to give you a bit of
basically, I'm
context.
getting a very nice,
Yeah.
truly branded laptop bag.
Oh, that's nice, man. Nice.
And a branded K-Way.
Cheers, buddy.
Nice.
Christmas.
I mean, nothing says K-Way like a branded K-Way, eh?
K-Way all the way, bro. And now I can go to Milk Bar on a Friday night in winter, and I'll blend. I'll really blend.
That's what you want.
Good.
I've actually got 2 K-Ways for that. One is for Milk Bar, and the other is for...
Hey, the man knows Milk Bar.
Yeah, of course, man. I go there. It's got a children's play area, so I know every place that's got a lacquer play area.
Yeah. You see, CJ, I don't know why you live in Toti, bro. If you were here, we could have all K-Wayed together.
Exactly.
My boot. I have this place here that I can actually pump out and get long-term sustainability on. So I can also rent it out on demand. I mean, if I go to the farm, I can just say, cool, I'm renting it out. Like everyone bid on the place and I can bid it out. So that's my next money-making scandal because I want to improve my place so everyone that comes here gets a higher quality stay, you know?
Look at you, entrepreneur businessman.
How very dare I embrace capitalism to make my life better.
Well, sure, capitalism is the only way forward, 100%. I don't want to live like a pauper.
No, it's actually Satan's ball sack according to the ANC and the EFF. But hey, I'm just here.
You know that I am not politically minded. I don't know what's going on in politics, nor do I know.
Okay, so for my audience, Peter is really like he is the antithesis of being political, which is actually great because I can just talk about him about real shit without getting like upset, which is great. So thanks, Peter.
I'm cool.
Well, but you're good. You're good like that. That's actually a great quality, by the way, because other fuckers like me, like, yeah, but that's good, Rayner.
You need friends in your life. Sorry, this fucking door. You need friends in your life.
Wait, you sort out. Okay, wait. Bathroom break. Bathroom break.
So I decided to make the unrealistic kind of tonguey thing. Just one more comments. People comment. Jesus Christ. I see 4 eyes on me. I just want you to comment and I can throw your comments on the screen. Yeah, go. Ray.
What's up? So, what was I saying? I said you need friends in your life that don't care about that stuff. Because you can't just be talking about... You can't be talking about the fucking ANC and the EFF all day to people. Like, it's unhealthy, bro. It'll fucking drive you mad. Like, you can't just have those kind of conversations. You got to have... Like, I've got certain friends that are into, like, football. and that's all they like is football, and that's all we talk about is Man United and football and how shit Man United. It's fucking hailing here, Jesus Christ.
So you understand the importance of a balanced lifestyle.
Absolutely.
Basically.
I mean, I've got a WhatsApp group of friends. All they talk about is gaming. They all play PlayStation, and we play certain games together. Oh, nice. We play certain games together, and that's all that happens in that group. And I'll sit and have conversations in that group, and I'll have conversations in my football group, and then I'll have Twitter is just political. Like everything on my Twitter is political. So if you sit in an echo chamber, especially with people who share the same political views as you, it's fucking unhealthy, man. Like you can't just be listening to the same shit all the time. You can't. It'll drive you.
I can say now, my mates and I never ever discuss politics. We have a bi-monthly call with the chaps from the UK, the UK, Ireland, and Australia. But it's. I mean, we've all been friends for 17 years. So
I just want to welcome, Dione Harley. Welcome, Dione.
Hello, Dione.
How's it, everyone?
Hello.
Hi there.
Hi, how are you?
Good. How are you guys?
Yeah, good.
How do you know the group?
Oh, how do I? Okay, so I know Carter because we've done work together, and Rayner because we've met.
Carter, is this the one?
It's the one.
Pete, I think you need to get a headset because our echoes are echoing into your. But if you don't have it, we'll deal with it. No harm, no foul.
You should have one.
Or you can just silence yourself when you are not speaking, motherfucker. Welcome to the gun show. Do you know where are you tonight?
So I'm at Sun City in Pilansburg. Oh, I'm having whiskey and appetizer tonight.
Very nice.
Very nice.
I am very jealous and very happy for you.
Yeah, it is a lovely environment. So.
Are you happy, CJ? Are you happy now?
Not yet. I'm still hearing echoes, but who am I hearing echoes from?
Not from me.
Wait,
I can actually blame you now.
It's not me anymore.
Wait, let me try.
You see, we've got very good people that actually care about us, and now we can have a clean, crisp conversation.
Okay, is that better?
Much better. We're not hearing that echo anymore.
So it actually wasn't my fault.
Even Pete's bitches calling him is better now.
Huh?
I just wanted to hear on a scale from 1 to 10, how good is my mustache tonight?
It's fabulous. I hate to get rid of it. It's horrendous.
I know. I'm cutting it off tomorrow.
Yeah.
I mean, even last night in my call with Dione, she was like disapproving of it. She was just like, I can't look at you in this way. It's difficult for me.
November was so 2005. Let's just move on. We should always Movember. We should always remember Movember. Or just donate like 1,000 rand to cancer and not grow the beard.
I mean, at the end of the day, you hit a crucial and critical moment there. I mean, the ANC should also just go on and not reinstate rapists and actually donate towards or do something against terrible practices. You're right.
Oh, my brother, you're talking about what the ANC should and should not do. That's a losing battle any day of the week.
I can go on for 150 years, but I don't have so much long to live.
I don't have enough knowledge to talk to you for more than 5 minutes about it there.
Yeah, no, this is true. Sorry.
Carter, Cherise is also backstage if you'd like to later join.
Where is she?
Oh, fuck yes. Any day. Is she adding with you, or am I adding a different?
Separately.
Okay, cool. If she just forward the link to her, and then I can add her.
I did. She's saying that she's already in backstage.
Oh, I see. Okay, well, I have to scroll down, by the way.
DJ, are you using your fancy microphone?
Hi, Charisse.
Hey.
So,
Well, we've got two Harleys in this in this affair, and
Yeah, it's
I think we
unfortunate.
reach a forward.
No, I think it's just gonna make it better, man. Fuck.
No, so positive. So positive.
okay, so Rayner, where were we? We were going to start with, and I even tried to remember them the other day. I remember, like, the red flags come and go. Like, I'll remember certain things at a certain point in time and I'll forget them completely. But there's a few standard ones we can agree on. Yeah?
Yes. So one of them, you're talking about Tinder, right? So one of them.
Any
is
dating application.
So one of my ultimate red flag. I won't even swipe right on someone. I don't care how good looking you are. If you've got something in your bio, in your bio that's all about one, how everyone should handle you the way you are. You're a tough customer, and that if you don't like the way I am, then you can just fuck off or whatever like that.
I've seen that. You just fuck off.
Or if you've got one of those,
I will.
or if you've got like a paragraph about what other people should be like. You better not be like this. You better not be like that. You better not have this. You better not have that. And I'm like, dude, calm the fuck down. Like, rein it in.
Who the fuck do you think you are?
When they play the Utopia card.
If people don't like you for who you are now, I mean, at your age, that shouldn't be something you have to tell other people.
Red flag.
That should be something you're either accepting for yourself right now, and you know in your head that you're a bit of a difficult person, and that people should love you for who you are. You don't have to let all of us know. Let us find out. You know, like.
I've got two things. I've got two things. Firstly, I want to understand this, ladies. Maybe you can tell me. I find it amazing how every single woman is apparently down to earth, okay, fun-loving, and has a great time. And also, what I cannot for love or money understand is how everyone loves to travel so much and has so much money to travel to all these countries. Are your parents zillionaires, or if you've been to 42 countries, what kind of salary do you make?
Or didn't Arab tell you, like, you can just give up all your values and I can dump on your chest and you can just have my cash? I mean, you've got options.
Also,
you've got options.
Unhygienic, you know?
Yeah, man.
It does happen.
Well, there are a lot of privileged people out there. Like, honestly, like, there are a lot of people who, you know, they still went on a year of Contiki tour and finding themselves, and, like, you know,
probably not grounded.
back year. You know, we didn't do that. Charisse and I actually went overseas on our own dime because we had to raise the funding to be able to do that. So,
do you love to travel, Dione? Do you love to travel? How many countries have you been to? Charisse, how many countries have you been to?
I can't count. Quite a few, but I'm an academic. Comes with the territory.
Okay, so we can't apply the same logic or filter. Yes, that's fine. But
no,
my second,
wow, I love it. I do like traveling. One of
my biggest, I would love it as well. If I could afford to go to Italy every year, 100% I would. Make no mistake. I got no love for South Africa. I'll be out tomorrow. It's in the plan. But anyway, okay. So Rayner, one of my big red flags.
Traveling because you're going to Italy for like however. My sister and I have traveled, and especially my sister Dione has stayed in a country. There's a difference between Harry casual, Contiki tour, going to Italy to get some shoes, and living in a country. So if you've traveled,
but I would love to do both.
Yeah, I lived in London.
Sometimes you want to leave really far.
And I traveled a lot while I was there.
It's difficult to leave though. That's the tricky part.
Yeah, sometimes they don't let you.
Yeah,
because you're studying.
But it's okay. I'm working on an Australian gig. I just have to seal that deal. We'll discuss that in a different seminar. Okay,
yeah, but more
Rayner.
to the point. More to the point. Like, I mean, girls are going to say stuff because they want to come across as appealing, and yeah, they do. They do consider what do guys want to hear. So guys do tend to find girls who've traveled to be more exciting and to be more worldly. It creates a certain impression of the kind of person you are. It's not real, but they're also trying to play.
It would not factor in my decision at all. I would rather
Well,
know, like you know, what
how
are
do you
your,
know?
like,
Yeah, but how do you know you're not the outlier? Like, I take it that most women are sort of going for what most men like. So maybe you're the outlier.
what do most men like?
I have no idea because I don't do that. But I'm just assuming that if you've seen so many profiles with women saying the same thing, then that's their bet on what men like. I mean, I don't say that because it's not in my nature, but
It also depends on the target, right?
Well, apparently what we want to hear
an intelligent
is
man is a different target to a not so intelligent man. Your intelligence
apparently
also
what we want to hear is I'm well traveled, I'm down to earth, I'm super chill, I like to drink and do this, and horse riding has come up quite a bit.
Oh yeah.
But like Rayner's saying, if you don't like me, that's your problem. Whatever. Okay, no one's telling you we don't like you. Just relax, take a breath. Maybe let's just go a little more personal. Like what are your dislikes?
Let me mansplain to all these women and everyone on this call.
One of my massive dislikes. I don't like birds. I have a fucking fear of birds. I don't like it. I am 120 kilogram man.
Ek is bang vir voëls. So Pete will never have KFC because he's so bang vir
I'm absolutely with you there, bro. I hate birds.
Yeah, this is actually on my profile. Like, what are my fears? I'm afraid of birds. I don't like them flapping near me. I don't like pigeons. Freak me the fuck out. And I don't like it. It's personal. Like, it's interesting.
Yeah, it's personal. They're coming for you. It's true. They've zoned in on
and
you.
one even flew in my house the other day. I freaked the fuck out. I literally threw my mouse at it. I was like, bro, it's you or me, and you're going to die. I promise you. It's not going to be me. And I eventually got this bird out, and I was like, no, that's it. We're closing our sliding doors from now on at night because I cannot walk out my room in the morning and have a semi-heart attack if there is a pigeon on my freaking cupboard. I can't do it. I work too hard to deal with this shit.
Okay, I have to give a good perception about what I experienced between the two down there. Like it was quite something else. It was not a threesome, by the way. I went out
somewhere in the world.
CJ, no. The thing about a threesome, if you want to disappoint two women at the same time, introduce your girlfriend to your mother. That's the rule.
I know. So I'm referring back to just having a legit dinner, by the way, a gentlemanly
dinner. Look at Therese, how classy she is. Pinky out. I'm going to do that too.
She's classy as fuck, son.
But can you maintain it?
My nails are nicely painted like yours, you know.
Yeah, Therese, I still need to know how I can paint everything as well as you do. But by the way, I went out for dinner and wine, and I just had a blast of a time.
With your step?
With the with the two sisters. Like it was very interesting, and I haven't been able in my life to replicate anything quite like that. Just from an intellectual level and just having fun organically.
I'm sorry,
I don't know.
Boring, buddy.
Huh?
I'm sorry, I'm so boring.
Well,
you know, you fly up from Toti, you stay at my house, you eat my food, and I'm not good enough company, fucker.
No. You're proper, but
Man,
what I'm saying
you
from
don't high heels, mate. That's the problem.
Yeah. You're not putting on any high.
Yeah.
There it is.
No, it's just like
Yeah, that's it, buddy. That's it. Sorry, Siege, carry on, and then I will finally hit the first red flag because we've been here for an hour and 13 minutes and we have not tackled the definitive red flag.
Yeah, like I don't know what the hell. Like seriously, what did we miss? It's been like an hour. What did you guys discuss for an hour?
We've been talking shit for like an hour.
Okay, fair enough. Let's hit that quick and let's go. Okay, bad decisions, red flags, and
you finished, buddy.
No,
I'm be a red flag. Is that like?
Someone be what? If they're annoying, can they be a red?
Yeah.
Yes,
oh no, that's just a preference. Like someone, what you know, one man's trash is another man's treasure. So if someone finds you annoying, someone else might not find you annoying. So that's not a red flag. Red flags are stuff like the person who's always late.
Okay,
But like,
I'm gonna
as
hit
well,
you
someone
with
who's
one of my
always
main-
on their phone,
Yes,
someone who's
late.
always on their phone, but
Late.
never replies to your
Yes,
text
on their
messages on
phone.
time.
with you.
Late.
Oh, you're talking about being
Fuck.
blue tick.
No, but I'm saying they're always on their phone when you see them, so they're never far from their phone. But when
Agreed.
you speak to them, when you guys are not together, they always
Yeah.
take a little bit of quite a while
Yes.
to reply to you. But you
Yeah.
know that
Yeah.
person is always on their phone. That's
Yeah.
a red flag.
No, absolutely. Like another red flag, Rayner, I wanted to say to you though that those women who have a thing about making a statement about take me as I am, those are feminists. No business about it. Those are feminists who are like, take me as I am. I'm empowered. I'm like, I don't fucking suffer fools lightly. Like.
Yeah, exactly. I don't take shit from people, and I'm like,
Yes.
no one actively takes shit from people.
Yes.
Like they
So
just,
why?
it's not.
Yeah, the fact that you have to send out this like empowerment message, I'm telling you, those are feminists who are like trying to make a point about.
I think it speaks to giant insecurities. It speaks to
Absolutely.
let me put my flaws out there for everyone to see, so that I can look like I'm owning it. But it's like, you don't have to, man. You need to make peace with it yourself, and you actually haven't made peace with it. And that's
No,
the
it's
thing.
also-
And that's why we're trying to put it out there.
And also, it's a lot of talk, but not a lot of action. Like, if a person is really like that, where they don't take shit, they won't have to talk about it because they'll just do it. They won't have to
Exactly.
broadcast it
No
to the
one-
world. They'll just like, if you give them shit, they'll just be like, yeah, like,
But
I'm
it's
not
just-
interested.
I'm not-
It's the same logic as if you have to tell someone that you're the big dick swinger, you're not the big dick swinger.
Absolutely. It's like those guys who'd say that I'm an alpha male. Like, as soon as someone says, oh, I do alpha shit, I'm like, shut the fuck up. You don't have to tell
Take a seat, son. Take a seat,
anyone
son.
that's an alpha male, please. You just relax. Calm down. Like,
Hear the alpha male. Hear me
yeah.
roar.
Okay, now Rayner,
Exactly.
let me
Yes,
Let me-
like the Katy Perry song.
Let me hit you with this one. So one of my red flags is this. Now, it's not so much the concept, but it's more the woman's thought process behind it. Okay, so we're all well aware that men and women have men and women female friends, right? Okay?
Yes.
My whole thing is that if you don't have the foresight or mature understanding of the fact, look, I'm of the firm opinion, men and women cannot be purely platonic friends. It's not built into us. However, there are exceptions. Okay, I have two purely
One of my
platonic
best friends is a
friends,
woman.
which I've never. Yeah, but that's the exception. But as a given rule, and I've seen it time and time again, I even tested it. As a rule, if a woman does not understand the fact that you think he's a friend, what he thinks is a different story. Men do not talk to women unless they're interested, as a general rule. Because why do we care? Why do we care? I have two female friends I've grown up with, and I'll now and again ask, how are you? What's news? Whatever. But as a general, if a man is speaking to you every day, wants to see you often, he's interested. He doesn't give a fuck to be your friend. Why the hell would he talk to you every day, make plans, whatever? But
Actually, that's true. Women are annoying. So,
yes,
Look, there's a line. Like,
there is a line.
I treat my female friend as the same way I treat guy friends. I don't have to see her every weekend. We talk maybe once a week, and it's like, hey, how you doing? How's it going?
Sure.
Lekker, that's all good. And then
my
let's meet
best
up
friend
because
was a guy since I was 16.
But what I'm saying is that interest will come traditionally from the male side.
exactly.
And a red flag for me is that you as a woman, if you don't understand that, you're like, no, he's just a guy, he's just a friend. No, honey, he wants to have sex with you or marry you. It's A or B. He is, and we're talking purely baseline. He's not interested in anything else. No, but he's just a friend from your side. But if you don't understand his intention, and I even said to the one guy, I said, ask your mate if he's interested in you. Go ask him.
But you know what? This is where it becomes quite grey, right? Because
It is a
there's
grey area.
intention when the guy wants there to be intention, and then the girl is reading into it when the guy suddenly doesn't want there to be intention. And this is where it can become very tricky, especially if there was a friendship to an extent to begin with. Right?
Yeah, but what I'm saying is that men are not interested for any other reason. Men are not interested in purely friendship. Oh, let me tell you how my day was. Oh, you won't believe how
but
no.
also at the same time, they might be interested until somebody better comes along, right? So the interest is there, and then suddenly they pull back because now somebody better has come along. And that's, I'm sorry, that's one of the things that's confusing. So you thinking maybe he's interested, maybe he's not. Oh, actually, well, now he's somewhere else. Maybe this is just a friendship. When it comes between people, there's so much gray. And I agree with you. I think you should be honest, right?
I like to have a mixture of friends because
women who don't understand that causal relationship is my issue. If you're not smart enough or with it enough to understand, this is the reality. Yeah, you think it's just friendship. He doesn't think that. He's here because he wants to be with you. He wants to see you twice a week, 3 times a week. Honey, he's interested. Other than that, he does not give a fuck.
Yeah, that's overboard. Like, that's definitely interested. But I like to have female friends in the sense that there's certain discussions I can't have with guy friends that I won't get. Like, there's certain things that I wouldn't talk to a guy friend about. And there's certain things that, because maybe the guy friends that I have are not emotionally capable of it. And there's certain things that I don't seek people out to talk about it, but I have those people in my life already, and I'll have certain conversations with one of my best friends is a woman, and she's very close to my daughter, and we have, we're just very good mates. We don't talk every day. We don't see each other often. Like, if it's once a month, it's a lot.
So then she'll be the exception.
But she's someone I will go to with like a more softer kind of, if I have an issue that's something that requires a little bit more of EQ. I will speak to her about it, and a feminine touch. And the thing is, like I grew up close to my mom, so I'm used to having a close relationship with a woman. So I know there's certain things that I talk to with my mom that I don't talk to with my dad. I'm
the same way. Me and my dad are more sort of formal business, and with my mom, I talk emotional. Hey, I kind of took this girl. Like, what do you think?
So I have those kind of conversations with my female friend that I don't have with like my guy friends. And
what are you saying?
Are you saying I don't have with her that I will have with guys? So it's not like
on the premise of
I feel like the opinion I'd get from them is not one that's been thought through emotionally as what I would get from her.
Are you saying that even if a dude is married and they want to be friends with a woman, they can't be friends with her without wanting to sleep with her?
Well, my question is,
let me get to
why is it that important that he wants to be friends with her so bad? This is the same discussion on the radio the other day, that they said work husbands and work wives, yay or nay. Very interesting opposed arguments.
But
I think
the thing is, why are married people looking for new friends of the opposite sex? If you guys have been friends for years, different story. But why are you out there trying to make new mates? That's a little bit suspicious. I'm not saying.
But sometimes people just meet people and then they say.
Sorry, just one question. Can anyone see me right about now?
It does happen. No.
I can. You look great, buddy, except for the mustache.
I said I can.
Okay, sorry.
Sorry, guys. Boston break. I'm sorry.
I'm just saying it's a little bit suspicious.
But like, I assume that if a guy is married to someone and they happen to be friends with a woman, that it's not necessarily because they want to sleep with her. I mean, because they're already married.
No. I don't know. I'm not of the same opinion as Pete. I don't think that men and women cannot be friends. Like, I don't believe that at all. Like, I think that anyone is capable of being friends with anyone else. It's your intentions, and
Rayner,
honest with your intentions.
So you believe there's platonic friendship between men and women, yeah?
Yeah, that can exist. Absolutely.
I agree with you, by the way.
Absolutely, yeah. I just when there's a line, and I think like it's hard to explain, but there's a line where a married person shouldn't cross over. Like, there's a certain level of friendship that you should pursue. Like, someone who's married, who wants to see you all the time and who wants to be in your company and talk every single day. I feel that like I've had married women friends like that where they're a little bit too friendly, and I'm like, I've had to pull back and be like, no, even though I've known you for a while, like, this doesn't make me comfortable. And if I was your husband and I knew how often we were talking, I wouldn't like it.
Yeah.
So I would do what I feel is like, how would it affect me in a way?
That's good. I think that's fair. I think that's a really good perspective to have on it.
That's actually
But
very
I'm
good,
not saying
dude.
that
Like,
it can't happen, and I'm not saying that it shouldn't happen. And I wouldn't expect my spouse to give up their friend because I'm insecure or I have a problem with it, kind of thing, you know.
So,
Rayner,
so we've talked about.
I actually sorry, didn't I to interrupt,
Yeah?
but I
No,
had
sure.
actual friends and lady friends in my life, both from a male and female spectrum, actually suggesting like there can be no platonic male or female friendships in this life, and I'm like, bullshit. Like, males and females can have platonic friendships. Don't you fucking dare go into a state where that is not possible. Like, it's absolutely possible. But if it's not possible, it's because of your own fucking insecurities. And that's just my person. Okay, well. Am I full of shit or what's happening?
No.
The problem is that when the eventuality happens, that's the problem.
I think we're also forgetting the fact that yes, there's men and women, that's great, but every character has feminine and masculine inside it, right? Some of us, even if you're a woman, the masculine side is stronger, all right? Which means that I'm sorry, since I was a little girl, I was much happier being friends with guys. Just natural. I went into a field where I'm constantly surrounded by men, and I'm much more comfortable. Women get on my nerves as a general rule. Does that mean that I must now not seek out any friends because some of them might want to sleep with me?
No, of course not.
That is going to cause serious problems with my social life, which is already very quite diminished, as Dione told you. So, all I'm saying is that you also, it's much more nuanced than that. It's not just man and woman. It's also the fact that within each of our characters, it's exactly like Rayner was saying. I'm hoping your name is Rayner.
She can say it. CJ, why can't you say it?
It's also the fact that there are certain things that require different kinds of characteristics, and women tend to be softer, they tend to be more intuitive, etc., etc. And so there are certain kinds of subjects that lend itself towards being better discussed with a woman. Same for men. There are certain things I will discuss with a guy, I will not discuss with a girl because it will not go down well. But the thing is that I need that balance. I need both. All right. And that's just the nature of my character. Some girls are more comfortable with women. And yes, when they see guys, the only thing they're thinking is that's a future partnership or like,
I have a question.
some guys are similar, right? They're comfortable with guys when they're with a girl, future partnership. But it's not like that for everyone. And sometimes there's also such a thing, shockingly, as an intellectual connection, where you happen to just talk to someone and you know what? It's just great talking to them because intellectually you see eye to eye, you converse very easily. I've met people like that. It hasn't led to anything, all right? Maybe on their side that was the intention. I'm clueless about these things with you, right? No, it's possible. I agree with you. But I made it very clear that that's not where I was standing. I tried to do that specifically because Dione told me I'm clueless about that and she's trying to help me. So I tried to the best of my ability to make it clear this is my stance. This is where I'm coming at this engagement. At that point, it's the other party's decision to either back off or to stay involved.
Why has your social life
clueless or like retarded emotionally
more than one person
talking? Sorry, it's not about being clueless. Sometimes people are subtle about their like romantic intention for you. Some people don't give off that vibe, and they try and get in like a friendly way where they try and do that. And most people do that. And some people have come to me and they're like, "Oh, you know that friend of yours actually really likes you," and I'm like, "No, man, we're just mates. Like we hang out and we talk about football." And
yes, but you just proved it. You just proved it. Like it's usually another person has to see it. I know. Usually with I'm not good at seeing it with myself sometimes, but when it comes to someone else, I can go, they like you. That's why they're acting like that. And
so beautiful.
Yeah.
I've banished time from the room. She's doing something.
Who is this?
Which is playing Minecraft.
That's Soraya.
Oh, how old is she?
She's 7.
Oh, okay.
Mine's she's really turning heads. I'll probably need a bazooka and a shotgun.
Yes, you will.
We can help with that. We'll get you a good one.
Sis.
So I'd like
Mates
to turn the attention to. So we've talked about how like red flags regarding women, but I'd like to mention one for me regarding
Yes,
men.
please. Yes,
By the way, Dione, I just want to say it's red flags regardless. We did not put a gender on it, so you can go crazy.
Of course we didn't. Of course we didn't.
Of course.
Of course you didn't.
Yes, you can go red flag. You can go red flag man, red flag woman. I did not state
Such
anything like that.
equality. Such equality. Well,
No,
I'm
I'm
just
just
saying
like
from-
playing it safe. I'm just like.
yeah, no, you were. But I have to say, if only men are part of the conversation, then presumably it's going to be more about women than about men.
That's
So-
logical stuff.
So with when it comes to men, I would say, and Carter and I have talked about this, I would say for me, when I've been on Tinder dates, a big red flag is when the guy, this is the first date, so this is the first time that they're meeting you, and they start listing all the boxes that you tick for them. So they'll be like, you're tall, I really like that. You're intelligent, I really like that.
Let me
You're
just be very honest about that. I'm actually very fucking part of that box, that whole thing she's trying to say right now, because
But when the person's like, you seem so stable, and a character like me is thinking, wow, you know nothing.
No, it's not okay, fair enough. You can take any box and you can take it. But I mean, yeah, she called a few boxes, and I also call a few boxes when I refer to women. And it's my own vibe, you know.
So what do you think is like just explain it. So like I've had this on Tinder dates where guys have done this, and I find it incredibly off-putting. And the reason I find it off-putting is because you're essentially reducing a person to certain characteristics that you think is what is going to equate to your happiness. But for a lot of the time, you actually don't know what's going to make you happy. Yes, there's certain core traits. Yes, you do. You're like, you know what? This is what I've had. I don't want that again. Yes. It's like you're reducing someone to those. And it's like, well, I can tell you now, almost every person you've been with in the past that you think ticked your boxes turned out to be a disaster. Otherwise, you wouldn't be on a Tinder date. So
clearly,
presumably that strategy didn't work for you in the past and you're still applying it. So I'm sitting there going, you still think that this is how it works. It doesn't, mate. Like we get to know each other, and we basically go from date to date, and we decide, is there something we want? It's not about, do you tick certain boxes? Like, it's not how that works. And I think it's incredibly insulting from a woman's perspective to be reduced to a certain, and I have been in a lot of respects, always been reduced to a certain set of boxes where I go, yeah, but you don't actually know who I am. And when you find out, you're not going to like it very much.
We discussed this exact thing earlier, where read the room, read your audience. Don't just sort of water it down to, what are you looking for? What do you want? I want a man, he must be this height, he must do this. No, get to know the person. See what she's about. See what your interests are. We discussed this earlier, you remember?
I like the word
people.
It's never like, you're right. Like, okay, guys, so let me just give both of you credit. Like, you're right. It's never exact formula. You think you fucking know, but you never do. I mean, you think you know you want A, B, and C. But when it's a bit of a different mix, you're like, fuck. Okay, cool. It's A, B, C, D, E, F, and there's X, and you're like, what is this X? Like, what is this about? Like, every person is very different that you meet, and there's
Sorry.
Look at
We're both in the same place.
Look at the picture on the wall behind them.
Sorry, I haven't taken my medication today, so I'm very easily distracted. Sorry, C. Sorry, buddy. Sorry.
You know what the thing is? People put these lists and these criteria together, and they forget about something subtle, like things that are nuanced. Not everyone who's intelligent is a nice person. You get a lot of academics and a lot of highly intelligent people who are arrogant as fuck.
So
And
it's a good word, nuance.
you see someone who's like, they tick all your boxes on paper. They got a good job, they're highly intelligent, they earn a lot of money, they drive a nice car, blah blah blah. But then you meet them, and they are absolutely narcissistic and have these delusions of grandeur and all these kinds of things. And you feel you don't notice those red flags until it's far too late. But you're so obsessed with your list, and you're so obsessed with picking these boxes.
I don't think that it's that you don't notice.
You're missing the point if you're so obsessed.
I like the word when people said read. I think what happens a lot of the time, because our brains process information much faster than we realize. So that gut instinct that you have, that feeling that makes no sense because you can't understand it, because they tick all the boxes, they're smart, they're pretty, blah, 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 blah. But your gut instinct says no. And we ignore that because the information hasn't been processed yet. So then it becomes a red flag to us a few months later or a few weeks later, depending on how often you see them. But the reality was that red flag was there in front of you. But we don't follow our instincts because why? We all believe that we can rationalize through this instinctive engagement with another person.
I have a good example for you. I have a very good example for you. So I used to live with a highly intelligent lawyer, very, very good at what he does. He now works for the Saltzman family. And he firmly believed that he deserved this knockout 9 out of 10 beautiful girl. So I said, cool. The first question I asked was, why do you think you deserve it? Oh, I got a great job, I'm this. And I said, no. Yes, you have a good job, you make a shit ton of money, sure. But I said to him, excuse my language, ladies, I said, you're a cunt. They said, how can you say that to me? You're a mate. I said, I'm your mate because you're a good mate, but you're a cunt. This is right. You are rude. You're fucking rude. You make women uncomfortable. You remember every beer that you bought for me, which I don't care. I mean, you buy me a beer, I buy you a beer, we carry on a lot. You remember every single beer that you bought for me and make a point to remind me that I owe you that beer. But I bought you at least 500, but yet I never bring it up.
I can't deal with people like that, dude.
So again, and then he would, go on a date like, no, she's not for me. Why is she not for you? No, she doesn't look like this. She doesn't act like this. I said, mates, how does she make you feel? Do you enjoy time with her? So I said, Matt, I tell you what, tomorrow I can give you a porn slot. That is the top 9 out of 10. I can give you that girl. But you know what? What are you going to do for the other 99% of the time you spend with her? You can only have sex with a woman for so long, any given part of the day. What are you going to do with the other 99% of the time you spend with her? You actually have to enjoy it. You actually have to enjoy her company. You actually want to talk to her. Babe, what do you think about this? Why do you think that? Let me understand why you think that.
Not annoy you sitting next to you.
Yeah, the fact that she doesn't boil your blood every second of every day is a win. So I said, I don't agree that you deserve this woman because you're a dick. And you don't give a flying fuck about her.
All women,
but yet you think you deserve this amazing girl because you got an amazing job and because you make a shit ton of money.
Wow.
That's not how life works.
Yeah,
right? It makes no sense.
Not that
it makes no sense. So I said,
my partner is a lawyer. It's pretty awesome.
No,
by the way,
Rayner,
can I just sorry, Pete, Rayner, to give this shout out. Your partner can get 5% off of aeroponic and 10% off NFC systems.
Yes, she wants to buy one because she's obsessed with God.
What are we talking about now? We're talking about software or hardware.
That's something else.
No. Rayner understands what I'm saying. I'm so terrible.
So
I'm really gonna jump off my fucking first floor balcony because I'm terrible at what I do. I'm terrible at denouncing and renouncing names.
Guys, Dione does not look impressed. Let's pick up the concept.
Dione, I just want to make sure that you are okay.
Woo! Does not look impressed.
What do you do to make her not be impressed?
Okay, well, Cherie is back. Like, let's I'd throw it back to Cherie because Cherie is like the MVP. She's like more just impressed with us.
What did they do to you, Janae?
No, man. They're just talking.
Where did they
they're just-
touch you?
No, man. They're just talking cock, and I'm just like, okay, are we gonna move this conversation along anytime soon? Like,
Yeah, we've got stuff to do, guys.
we got like stuff to do. Like, seriously, we're in Sun City. Like, seriously, make this worth our while. Like,
We have to decide on the importance of using Nietzsche within the context of Aristotle. And
you know,
deep
I mean, come on.
Like,
Therese, do you have any like red? I would say red flags in general, but I mean, I think this is an obvious one, but I'm going to say it anyway. Is the moment that you? Oh, quite good. I was going to say toxic. But let's go with boring first, and then we can tackle toxic.
Yeah.
I think narcissistic is also a big one, no?
That's toxic. That's toxic.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's the toxic stuff. Yeah.
Look, I mean, some people can't help it; they just are, and that's nice. But,
Boring.
Yes.
Yeah, no, they don't always know. You see.
And the thing is, though, there are often times where the person is not boring because they are. They're boring because they're providing a persona. So they are trying to give you what they think you want. And that's usually the thing that is boring, because people are not usually one-dimensional. They're usually many different kinds of facets to them. And the thing is that if they were just genuine and real, you'd see that. And that's the thing that is interesting to engage with. So for me, that is often a flag.
Oh,
I mean,
ain't nobody got time to be fake. Ain't nobody got time. I don't have time for that.
Oh, people have lots of time.
Lots of time
I
for
don't have time
that.
for that. I mean,
You know,
I
with the advent of social media, people can be who they want to be.
Gone.
Yeah, social media allows you to be what you think you want to be. Not what you
Exactly.
I don't
And
do
you can
social
create
media.
you can create these personas.
I don't
But
have
I
time for
think
social media. My life is not that interesting. I'm sorry, like it's not. Other people just post fake
Probably
shit
normal.
to be like, girl, if you are standing in front of that Ferrari, do you own that Ferrari? No, you don't. So why would you post a picture of you in front of a Ferrari? You don't own it. Work to get that Ferrari. But like you don't own it yet. Now you want to look like a big dick swinger because you're standing in front of a Ferrari. Like that shit kills my soul. Like,
Yeah,
don't you
also, I think
don't you have a job? Don't you have someone to provide for? Like, what the fuck are you doing?
I also think with Tinder and stuff, like I read an article about if you actually do want to get to know someone on Tinder, you should actually try and initiate a meeting as soon as possible instead of doing all this kind of back and forth on text. And I do think that a lot of people, and I know a lot of people do drag that out. So the moment I cut to the chase and I'm like, okay, let's meet for coffee or whatever, to sort of be like, okay,
it's not a hard
very
task.
easy. No, it's not. It's just like, okay, can we meet for coffee? I don't think that's aggressive or unreasonable. I mean, presumably you like me. Oh, this is what I do though. I have to actually tell guys this because I don't think they know that this actually might happen. So I started noticing on Tinder that guys, so if you match, guys will actually not reach out to you and not actually initiate contact. And the impression that I got from that is that they're actually trying to wait to see who do they catch, like what kind of goals do they actually like rope in, and then they want to kind of assess, okay, which goals are they willing to go for because they're sort of the best of the bunch. So I find that incredibly insulting. So I'm like, if we've matched and you don't contact me within at least 24 hours, I delete it. Because I'm like,
but you know where that comes from, you know?
If you aren't even man enough to reach out, if you've matched with me within 24 hours, because you're either waiting to see if something better comes in, then go fuck yourself, because I'm fucking moving on. I actually have no patience with a guy who can't even on Tinder fucking reach out and just be a fucking man and just fucking text me and say, hey, do you want to get together for coffee? Go
I'm with
fuck
you.
yourself.
I'm on your side, sister. Preach. I'm on your side.
I'm passionate about that.
Well
But
said.
you know where that comes from?
Eloquent and
You know where that
intellectual.
comes from? So
Well
there is
done.
a standing rule in society. I was only made aware of this a few years ago, and I said, that's bullshit. I do me. If I think you're awesome and I want to talk to you, I fucking talk to you. And I will take a day or two, like, yo, let's chat a bit. Okay, give me your number. Let's go for coffee. Let's see where this goes. I don't have time for bullshit. I'm trying to fuck around. You're obviously here for a reason. If you want to meet me, let's meet. If you get cold feet, sorry, I can't help you. You're obviously not brave enough to do this, or you whatever's going on in your head. I don't have time for this shit.
If we hit it off, if we hit it off, my first thing to do is to get someone off Tinder and onto like WhatsApp, so that I know that you're a real person and you're not a fucking catfish, and I can look up your number on Truecaller to see if you say who you are. If you are who you say you are, because there are a lot of bullshitters out there and grifters and fucking all kinds of people.
Also,
but I also, within 2 or 3 days, I'm like, okay, can we meet for coffee? I won't chat to someone exclusively texting for a week.
But Dione, just to answer your question, why the guy's away from. So I spoke to my buddy's younger brothers a while back, probably about 2 years ago. And they had recently met a bunch of girls, and I drove the chaps home, and like, yo, bro, are you going to text that chick? No, bro, you remember the rule. So I said, look, guys, as the older brother here, I might be getting a bit old, but what is the rule? If you like a girl, fucking text her now. Why must you wait till tomorrow? Fuck that shit. He said, no, bro, it's the 3-day rule. What? What crap? What does that even mean? So the rule is, if you get a chick's number, you wait 3 days and then you text her. And I said, why the fuck?
I waited 3 days. I won't respond.
She plays stupid games. You win stupid prizes.
Yes, exactly. The way you behave is the kind of person you're gonna get. So if you want a person who plays games, then play games. But you're gonna get a person who plays games. If you want someone who's authentic, then be fucking authentic, and everyone else is gonna fuck off, and you're gonna draw someone who's fucking authentic. Like, it's not rocket science.
I like this one. Got a good head on his shoulders.
I'm sorry, like seriously, guys.
You should have hanged out with us when I. So by the way, Siri and Dione, the week I was in Joburg was exactly the same week when I asked that fucking guy Pete out for a joel, because I was like, hey, I've got fucking more than decent conversation. Would you like to join us? And he did fucking not.
Let me just interrupt you, Dione and Cherise. CJ doesn't seem to understand that I also have my own life. I'm not at his beck and call.
I see. Okay.
I know. How very fucking
I know. How weird. I have my own life.
That's crazy. That doesn't make any sense.
CJ, I'm gonna use the 3-day rule on you, okay?
No, I'm sorry. Like, if you're interested,
You text me, expect a 3-day reply.
if you're gonna fuck around,
If you're interested, be interested. And
Anyone
then
who plays those kinds of games, you must. That's a massive red flag.
I'm like, you dig me, I dig you. Let's do this. Let's see where this goes. No, but I've been hurt before, and this, and baggage, and drama.
everybody has.
Well,
Everybody
fucking,
has.
Okay. I'm gonna give you guys I'm gonna give you guys a big red flag that I got a lot of shit for on social media.
Do it.
Woo! Let's go.
Okay, I'm not gonna name names.
Is it someone who's Twitter famous? Because I think I know the story.
It's like,
No. I won't say anything.
Please tell the story, because I
Don't
don't
you say
particularly
Thank
like
you,
it.
Siri. Siri is like being silent. She's like,
just shh. And the only reason I'm willing to talk about this is because I got so much shit for it, and this person didn't stand up for me at all, even though it was his cock. So,
What?
Who's cock?
So,
Who's cock?
so was
No,
it,
there was none of that. There was no cock.
damn.
For a second there, I was like, are we talking? Are we having a conversation? It's weird, man. It's a bit soon for that, you know. Next session we'll talk.
So there was this person, and said person and I flirted over WhatsApp. We met at a bar.
So cute. Yes.
I know it was. It was adorable. It was so adorable. And we met. Cherise, can I tell my stories? For fuck's sakes.
Sorry, Jenna. Sorry, I'll keep quiet. So sorry.
Fuck. So then we met at a bar and we hit it off, and this stuff happened.
Like
and
what?
No, not all the way, like just fooling around. And
PG-13.
I
Okay, I agree.
shh.
Sorry.
And the next day, he was like, he behaved a bit strangely, but like, I'm not going to go into that. Then I went home, and we sort of continued contact. And then like a couple of days later, I said to him, well, let's meet for brunch. So this was like our first kind of date. It would have been like our first official date sort of thing. And I said to him, let's meet for brunch at this place. And he then said, oh, yes, I know this place. There's one like it in Pretoria. And I said, oh, okay, cool. And I thought he was just basically telling me it's a nice place. He knows that it's a nice place. So I said to him, okay, there's one near me in Rosebank. So I'm in Joburg, right? So I said to him, okay, so it's cool. Do you want to meet at this place now in Joburg? Yep. And he's like, yeah, look, I think you need to drive down. You need to drive to where I am in Pretoria. And he put like a smiley face, and I didn't see the message. And then when I looked again, he'd left me a voice note. And
wait, so you must drive all the way to Pretoria?
Hang on, it gets better. In the voice note, like 5 minutes later, in the voice note, he then says to me, look, you are driving to Pretoria to see me because after all, I'm paying for the meal. So I just think it's fair if you drive to Pretoria to meet me at this place. At which point I fucking dropped the mic and I was like, go fuck yourself. I'm not fucking driving anywhere, especially when you tell me that I am fucking going somewhere because you are paying for the meal. So this is literally like a negotiation of goods where I'm the good and he's paying for me.
Shows you what's to come.
Exactly. Yes, exactly. I was just like, really? This is our first date. And your way of handling it.
Where have manners gone?
As I'm sorry, I still believe
that's your big narcissism red flag. That's your big narcissism.
I felt so cheap. I felt like so cheap. I was like, so I'm not even worth driving from Pretoria to Joburg for. That's how much I matter.
Let's just also look at it from a safety perspective. You really expect a woman to drive at night.
So what he's basically saying to you is that he could afford dinner, but he couldn't afford petrol.
Thank you.
No, it's not worth it.
The petrol was too much, guys. It was too much.
That's ridiculous.
I've got enough for a meal and a bottle of wine.
Also, buddy, if you just want to
50K drive, I can't do all of it.
You can't afford it.
I still believe in a man acting like a gentleman.
That's madness. No, sorry.
Yeah. No, hang on. It gets better. It keeps going. This thing just keeps going. So then I said to him, okay, look, I'm not interested. He then had a full-on meltdown because of my reaction. And initially he tried to convince me that I was being irrational. When it didn't work, because I was like, yes. When it didn't work, then he tried to backtrack. And then he was like, oh, yeah, shit, I fucked up. But then when I still, stuck to my guns, then he was like, look, I need us to have a conversation so I can, get some closure. And then I did that. I had a conversation.
Can I call him a woman at this point? Because honestly,
he's a bitch. He's a softie. He's a fucking little man bitch.
Then I had a conversation with him for a very long period. I explained to him why for me that was a red flag and why I don't think that it's at this point in my life, it's worth my time and effort. Yeah. And in that entire conversation, he wouldn't acknowledge where I was coming from, and he basically just tried to convince me that I'm being an irrational woman.
So he's an idiot, and he's a cheapskate, and he has no manners, basically.
And he's manipulative as fuck.
Because he basically was upset about the fact that I just wouldn't cave to his charm. And I was like, well, look, you're not actually conceding anything here. You're just trying to convince me that I'm crazy. And you can keep trying that, but it's not going to work because I know that a person's gut reaction is who they are, and I'm not going to play that game. So
Dione, at what point did you block him? I hope that night.
No, I didn't block him, but what happened was he then he continued after this long conversation where I tried to give him closure. He continued to contact me, and I basically just said to him, "Look, I don't see the point of this anymore. Please just stop." Then he did, but he then went and told a bunch of his friends what a bitch I am for basically cutting him loose. And so his friends came after me and were like, I'm toxically feminine because I basically lured him into thinking that. And this was on social media, and I was like,
Dione, that is called a mortal. He's obviously a brain dead twit that has no value to society. And let him fucking carry on being a mouth breather, and he will find some stupid girl who is going to bend to his every will. She'll be pregnant at 23, they'll be divorced by 29, and they will just fall into the cracks of society. Let him be.
It's delusional narcissism. It's when you feel that you're entitled to something that you've bestowed upon yourself.
But you see, again, rejection. Men can't handle rejection.
You can't handle rejection because there's something wrong with you, because you're the problem, not me.
But see, Rayner, I want to understand this. How is it that these men, or so-called men, have been brought up where you have no idea of manners, you don't know how to treat a woman? For example, I would never let a woman drive from Pretoria to me at night alone to see me. Fuck that. I'll drive to you, or I'll Uber to you, and we'll figure it out from there. But you will not get in an Uber by yourself. I'm sorry, this is South Africa. Yes. Fuck that. I get in the Uber with you, or you don't Uber at all. I'll bet you. You have no manners. I can bet you now that motherfucker Dione would not even pull your seat out at the restaurant. I doubt he would ask you what started you, what wine you want.
Upset if you don't open doors for him.
Yeah, and I mean, like, the lack of manners today just blows my mind. I wasn't raised that.
By the way.
And also, look, I mean, by this point, just remember, I've done a number of podcasts where I was very clear about the kind of woman I am, that I don't subscribe to feminism, that I believe in chivalry. I don't subscribe to feminism. I believe in chivalry. I believe in being a gentleman. And the way I was treated was the complete antithesis of everything I'd said to him on a podcast. Like, so it wasn't like this was not known. I mean, I'm not shy about my preferences. It comes
back to, how is it that men these days, or boys, shall we call them, how do you not understand rejection? I mean, how do you, like, it seems today that men are like, when a woman says no, it's a clear indication of no, try harder. No, buddy. When a woman says no, it's no. She's not interested, and then move on with her life.
Yeah.
But some people don't know how to take an L, bro. Some guys don't know how to take an L.
This is stuff that you learn in high school. Obviously, we've all chased chicks in high school. You know, you ladies have obviously chased men in high school. But I mean, this is something you learn as a young adolescent. I mean, shit, the amount of women that have said no to me.
But
I can draw you a list around my fucking apartment. But you take it in your stride. You know, you're like, okay, cool. You know, just carry on with life. But like,
comes back to what you said earlier, Pete. Remember, we spoke about a level of self-awareness earlier.
Correct.
That every person needs to have a certain level of self-awareness, and that gets you somewhere in life, because you get to notice when you're fucking up, you get to notice where you've gone wrong, and then you can also see a situation that's not good for you. Maybe that person, you've built them up in your mind because you've had these awesome conversations. They look a certain way.
Exactly.
You built them up in your mind, and then in real life, they're actually not for you. But you don't have the self-awareness to realize that you're not resonating with that person.
Yes, and I said to him,
you
hold on to this idea of them, and you can't fathom how did this go wrong? This is the perfect person.
And that's how I felt. I felt that basically everything had gone wrong. And I said to him, but look, even that indicates that there's so many. If he's like, I feel like this was all a misunderstanding. I'm like, well, exactly, right? If we're having so many misunderstandings from the get-go, all it shows me is that we don't communicate well, and we're not a fit. But to him, I became like this, and I don't enjoy that because it's not real. It's like, putting me on a pedestal and going, you're this person when I'm not. I'm not that person. You don't know me.
And what I see is that you have the emotional maturity, but yet he doesn't. So how do you? It's like shoving your head through a brick wall. You can hit that wall all the live long day, but you're never going to get your message. So at that point,
after trying to give him the closure he needed, it backfired monumentously, and I still got in the shit for it.
Why does he need closure? Like, you're a grown man, and a woman said no, so move on, mate. It's like, why do you need a closure statement?
No, he kept saying, well, it's
not closure. It's what manipulative people do. They try and get. They say they want closure. It's one of their little ways to get you talking to them a little bit more. So that absolutely.
Yeah.
So they try and get you to talk to them. So they say, I'm looking for closure, but they're trying to get you to a point where they can pitch their ideas to you, and they can try and sell themselves to you again.
Yes,
and they can try, or they can try and gaslight you to make you feel like you don't.
Yes.
I'm not a narcissist. I don't know anything. I don't know how to.
It was nice chatting.
Bye, Cherise.
Okay, bye, Cherise.
Like he was trying to gaslight me, and the moment that it didn't work,
gaslight. I know that term. I understand that term. I do.
It just kind of then it sort of spiraled out of control. It didn't change anything, but it was just a very unpleasant experience, and I also couldn't understand why. After I gave him that, I tried to give him the closure that he said he needed. This still happened, and I still got nailed for it. After I basically went on a show and talked about toxic femininity, now this term was being weaponized against me and saying, oh, yes, you talk about toxic femininity, but then you do this. And it's like, so you're toxically feminine. I'm like, no, that's not being toxically feminine. That's just a relationship not working out. You can't can't use that term now to say that whenever things don't work out between a man and a woman, it must be because someone was toxic. That's not true. Sometimes things just don't work out. And you either handle it like an adult or you don't.
You're not meant to be together. Some people are not meant to be together. Most people are not meant to be together.
And it's actually better that you're able to say from earlier rather than later, look, this is not what I want. And actually not hurt the person more by trying to push something that's not actually working. So
and this comes back to that self-awareness. It's that can you recognize in yourself that this is not working out? And you not just take this loss and say, I can see and I can put my pride in my pocket. This person's not that into me.
Yeah.
And I can move on because, I have something to offer and that's what I believe and that's what I'm going to do. But if you lack that, you're never going to get to that point where you can accept things like that. And part of maturity and part of being an adult is accepting when things go wrong or they don't go the way you want.
Exactly. This is the thing. And he constantly wanted me to say, he's like, yeah, well, I just feel like, what, did you ever like me and stuff like that? And I said to him, yes, I did. I did like you.
But he's fishing as well.
Exactly. He is fishing, but I said to him, but that was true. I did like him. So it's not a lie. I said to him, yes, I did. But then when the thing played itself out, I realized that like, this is not what I want. So I just said to him, like, that's the outcome. And you're trying to convince me I'm being irrational. I'm not being irrational. It's not what I want.
But also, Dione, that makes no sense. Like, why would you be with a man who makes you question your sanity?
No, exactly. It's not. It's a terrible strategy.
That's crazy. That
question that was on the screen for a while. Why involve your friends? That is just.
Yeah, that's a big. That's a big.
I had a random person who also is known contact me, and this was the first time he was ever talking to me, to tell me that this person was so upset and will I at least just work it out with him. And I just said to this person, like, excuse me, don't ever contact me again about this issue. It is between me and this person. It has nothing to do with you. 100%. Please don't ever use my personal number to contact me about this thing. I mean, that is just a violation of privacy. I'm like, how dare you contact me about this?
But also, Dione, doesn't that just show you what a bitch nigga he is? That he has to now go and whinge at his friends to be like, let me understand this, mate. You're a fucking grown man. You are an adult for all intents and purposes. You're a fucking adult, and yet your friends at 31, or I'm assuming he's an adult, 30 years old.
Well, yeah, like 30, early 30s, my age, yeah.
Okay, so I'm also early 30s. Well, I want to say it's 31, you know. Amazing skin for my age, just saying.
So wonderful. It's beautiful.
Oh, thank you. Dana. I know. It's very, you know, it's actually all natural. It's actually all natural, I swear. Apart from it's just it's just the dad lines. But also, I mean, to be fair, I would see it as a personal embarrassment on my side. If my friends ever got involved in my personal emotional relationships and messaged a girl on Instagram or Facebook, whatever the case may be, and say, listen, you're really hurting my mates, please sort it out, I would be so embarrassed. Like, you're a grown fucking man. Deal with it yourself.
Pete, a few minutes
Your friend to sort of mind fuck her, coerce her on a social media platform is ridiculous.
No, then I said to him, so this was after I did the show with Carter about toxic femininity, I got another friend. This is not even that same friend. This is another friend then came back on Twitter and accused me of toxic femininity after I did this show about the perils of toxic femininity. So I contacted this guy and I said to him, look, can you please call off your friends? Like, this is getting ridiculous at this point. It's between you and I, and now you're involving. And then he said to me, well, look, as far as I'm concerned, it has nothing to do with me. So, you know, you deal with it. I'm like, okay, but they're fighting this battle on your behalf. Like, it has nothing, it's not their business. Like, and I say to the dude, like, you have part of the story. You don't even have all of the story and you're attacking me, but you actually don't even know what happened.
So, Rayner, what do you think? Bitch nigga, eh?
It was astounding.
I don't even have words to describe what a pathetic individual this is. Bro, you either never grew balls as a child, you are now getting your friends to attack a girl on fucking social media because she said no. No is no.
Yeah.
You're obviously not fucking
fucking insane, man.
Fuck off.
Yeah,
these narcissists walk amongst us, and I mean it's crazy. Like when you actually gain a level of awareness of what a narcissist is, you can see them from a mile away.
Let's talk. Hey, Steve, I think I must have a switch and be like, I'm gonna give him the Jason talk. Be like, my brother, you are not everything you think you are.
Come to Jesus talk.
Eat some humble pie. You need to eat some humble pie. You are not fucking God's gift to women. You got a small dick. You're the size of a fucking 12-year-old. Shut the fuck up. Sit down, my son. Let's talk. You need to start acting like the pool you play in. You are in the fucking subcategory C pool. This is where you play. Shut the fuck up.
No, it was surreal. It was surreal. I couldn't actually imagine that something like that would actually happen in real life. Like, it was surreal. I was just like, I can't actually believe this is happening.
Where women are just so disappointed in their sort of Tinder dates. I'm like, but I can't help you. And then I get told I'm like a like a golden unicorn. I'm like, but that's bullshit. How am I a golden unicorn? Because I have my shit together. I have a job. I have all of my own teeth. And they're real and they're not normal. I swear to God, Dione, one of the biggest things women love about me is my teeth, and my full beard. I'm like, but that's superficial. Like, that's fine. Like, no, but you look like a man. You got your own job. You got your own place. You got your own car. And I'm like, guys, these should not be above the belt tick boxes. These should be.
No, but that's not masculinity. That's not masculinity.
No, I'm not saying it is. What I'm saying.
No, I know. I know you say. I know you're not. I'm just saying. I'm agreeing with you. I'm saying yes. That is superficial. It's not what masculinity is. Not playing a certain role in society. Yeah. It's a much deeper issue, and it's like you were talking about this person. It's like it's a level of maturity and the ability to, for example, take rejection, handle it maturely. Choose someone that's your match and not your inferior because you like feeling powerful and you like actually dominating someone.
100%.
Stuff like that.
But I mean, the amounts of women that I've met where, for example, myself, Carter, Rayner, are apparently golden unicorns as opposed to the average twit out there is frightening. I said, but that's ridiculous. I mean, how can you tell us that we are not the norm where apparently we are golden unicorns? Because we are self-sufficient, our own jobs, all of our own teeth, we actually look after ourselves. We smell nice, we shower daily. We don't live with our moms.
The bar is kind of low at this point, isn't it?
Do you know the bar is fucking disgustingly low, which it shouldn't be. As a woman, the bar should be at a preset level where it says you shower daily, you smell good, you wear cologne and not fucking Playboy deodorant. You dress accordingly. You can wear a collared shirt or you wear collared shirts. You don't rock up to dinner in fucking shorts and pluckies at a fancy restaurant. I've heard horror stories where girls have rocked up to dinner and they're all dolled to the max, and yet the guy rocks up and he's in pluckies and shorts and a vest. My brother, if you rock up to Ethos or Mythos in fucking Menlyn, Maine or Sanson, and you're wearing shorts and pluckies, if I was a woman, I would immediately say, sorry, you're not the guy for me. If you don't even know how to dress for dinner, you clearly never go for dinner or you just don't give a fuck. Yeah. Sorry, mates. Ain't nobody got time for you.
Yeah. Look, I gotta go, guys. It was fun.
I've also got to go. But it's been a great to chat. And we'll do this again for sure.
Yes.
Okay, Rayner, your final moments, sayings, and then Dione, yours as well. Go.
Okay.
Ladies first.
Oh, okay. So I think for me, like, I'm not gonna lie, like, we all make really bad choices, and I think Sharice is right. We have instinctive reactions to them, and we often ignore them because we think that we should be with a person who matches a certain description, and we rationalize ourselves into that, and I think that that's a mistake. One of my resolutions now that I'm in my 30s was, you know what? And I know this is maybe part of that empowerment thing, but at least I don't put it on my fucking profile and go, I am who I am, and if you don't like me, fuck off. It's more like I actually do it. So it's like I have a gut instinct now and I follow it, and I don't sort of try and second guess myself anymore and go, maybe I should give this guy the benefit of the doubt. At some point, it's like, you know what, you've done that enough, and every time has it worked out for you? And if it hasn't worked out for you, then seriously, the time has come to just go, what your gut is telling you, there's probably some truth to it. Interrogate it a bit, but like, don't think too much about it, and then move on. And don't like get stuck on people who are most of the time not even worth it.
They're called mouth breathers or mortals.
Absolutely. I mean, if I could take anything away from this conversation, is that the lack of like general self-awareness that people have, introspection. I mean, we could solve a lot of problems in this world if we could just take a little bit of introspection, a little bit of self-responsibility, a little bit of accountability for who we are and what we do, and a little bit of consideration for other people. And I think we could get a lot further in every aspect of our life.
But the problem is that it's always a blame game scenario. I'm never the problem, so is everybody else. No one is willing to say, and I do it every day in my job, I fucked up, I'm sorry, I didn't understand, I will take the hit. But
do you know how much easier it is to handle something after you take responsibility for it? It's so much easier because you get everyone on your side anyway. When you say, listen, I made a mistake, I fucked up, I'm really sorry. Then everyone's on your side and they'll help you fix it.
But people also don't understand that, you know what, if you make a mistake, you're a human being. You're a normal person. You make mistakes. You're gonna fuck up. You're not perfect. No one's perfect. You're gonna fuck up daily, weekly, monthly. I fuck up all the time. And I say sorry all the time because I'm a human being. I'm not perfect. But I admit to it. Say, look, man, I have no fucking clue what you're on about. I need help here. And I will go to all my teammates and say, guys, I need help. I don't know what the fuck's going on. But I think it takes a lot of strength to say that. And a lot of people would rather just, hide behind, the fake it till you make it thing. Yeah, mates, that works on small stuff. But when you have no clue how to do something super important, and now you're faking it, but you have no clue what's going on, it's going to fuck you in the long run. So I'd rather just be honest. Like, I have no idea. Help. I'm a human being. I make mistakes. You know, that's my 2 cents. Sorry, Siege. Done.
All right, guys. Thanks so much.
Everyone, thank you for attending. Let's have a good one. Everyone end their own evening at their own terms and have a jaw. Cheers. Have a good
Cheers,
one,
guys.
everybody.
Thanks,
Have a
guys.
good
Cheers.
evening.
Bye.
Bye.
All right, bye.